Very well. It seems we're just about ready to begin. Just about ready. Only a couple of minutes to go. Gentlemen, I hope you have everything that you will require ready and at hand. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, soon we will be starting episode 7 of ORO and the Curse of the Dead Gods. It is unfortunate that today I believe we will be missing one of our heroes, but fear not. There is plenty heroics to go around and about. Expect this one, I hear. Thank you for those of you who are here in spirit, in chat, in bone, and in blood. I would much prefer to have you in person, but such are the vagaries of fate that we must be diaspora. What ho, what a terrible thing. Now let us just make sure that we resend our promotional image and or links to as many people as we can, for my coffers are empty. I am in fact struggling to put food on the table. So let us make sure we get that average up. That's a good few more. A good few more. Ah, the sound of distant thunder and rain. That's one of my ASMRs. Now, my dear players who are here already, the stream cannot hear you yet, but tell me, what are your sounds of comfort? What are your favorite sounds? What makes you feel comfortable and relaxed? Certainly living up to the name, strongest goth in South America. But hey, we don't fault our friend for being exactly the person we love him being. That's the beautiful thing about friendship, you see. I love you for all your good and all your bad. It's part of the package. What a package! Package. What does a Jewish werewolf say when they transform? Bagels. I don't know what came over me. But you must know that your game master is, in truth, a very silly man. This shouldn't surprise you. And if it does, I think less of you. I do think more of you for that. To my dear players, I hope you have the link for the battle map that is your collaborative ongoing Zoom whiteboard, part of my professional GMing package, where you should be taking notes of lore and things about the story that you learn, which are important. As part of the feedback I received last time is that collectively the players feel up to a greater challenge. Therefore, I would let you know that it is in your best interest to either choose a person or have a rotating cast of assigned note taker from here. Well, that might be the person, but you want to have them here. I will remind you that this particular Zoom whiteboard remains accessible to you through that link when outside of session, so that you may do whatever you do there. Today you sent me the latest version of your character sheet PDFs, which I highly appreciate. You may also want to collate some of that data here if you so want in the party info section of the screen. You essentially have editor rights, if I am not mistaken. Yes, you have editor rights. Therefore, you can put in any content that your heart desires. I would also request kindly that you do not click on the hidden screens if you're able to see them, as that is integral part of how I will be running the game later. And I hope you like some of the new frames I've made. I'm learning how to use the map maker a lot better. I hope by next week to bring you 3D maps of some of the places that you might hear about or visit today. Very well, that is everyone with us, or at least so it seems. And we are fast approaching the time of beginning, and also the time of coming. They're not necessarily the same thing. If you want to hear about the second one, talk to my assistant. Now, is there one last thing that I need? It's just to know where my bloody dog is. There he is. He is good and relaxing. Therefore, there's nothing stopping us from beginning. Allow me to just get into character before we depart. We're currently showing you just some loading screens as part of our ongoing improvements to the stream. What you are seeing is original art for ORO, created by our two in-house artists. Those are Riamu, previously known as Mangaka Soldier, and Emmanuel Lema Martinez. Plus, I am ashamed to admit, a couple of AI pieces made by myself, which are not part of any intended final product, as quite frankly, I abhor the thing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Krona, Moon, and Raven. Game Master, Sorcerer, and Wizard. And by your curse and my father's death, I am the architect of destiny. I'll be bringing you a very special game tonight, by the hand of our dreams. This is episode 7 of ORO, the Tomb of the Dead Gods. Let us now see... Oh, before we speak of our players, before I interrupt, a piece of extant art from the Empire. Where you see I was not born there, it's never been my favorite place in the world. I was born in Argenta. There is a piece of war poetry that often makes its way to us. It reads, "The Red God hungers, their lust unsated, fresh blood. Children taste best." From the Song of Blood Jaguar, verse 1. Not a big fan myself. Let us now see our heroes. Gentlemen, you are now on screen. With us is Hugo Guayaba playing Amadeus, the elf, wizard, hero, and once upon a time, grandfather. Allow me to get rid of these thunderstorm sounds, as I believe when we last left off, we left the heroes on a bright and sunny day by the beachside. Then we have Ghostmaker, the strongest goth in South America, playing as Zurok, half-orc, prison-born as they call him. Allow me to just see if I can show you our slides. This is Amadeus in before and after, how he came to our world and how he became after dying. And, let's call it spending a night between the roots of a tree. Zurok, prison-born as we saw him when he arrived, although perhaps he's a bit more weathered by now. Our delightful Sully, who is unfortunately not here with us, we will be playing in the time-honored tradition of, no, he's there, he's just not talking. He generally keeps that hair under a hat, but we won't be discussing his preferences too. And, oh dear, I didn't have Murakon's picture there, but you know what I've done with it. Allow me to just take out these slides. It'll show up eventually. Allow me to just read a couple of these messages real quick. Oh, I'll get you the link to the board in but a second, my good friend. There you go. So, as I was saying, when we last left our heroes, we left the four of you a little disjointed in terms of time, as apparently your foray into the Black Pyramid was much shorter on the outside than on the inside, which is not the kind of thing you ever want to say to a girl, but it's certainly useful. You are still very much on day one, though hazard to guess that you're a little bit worse for wear, a bit more tired after your passage. It's hard to believe that you are in dire danger, but it is a beautiful day outside. Now, just as a very quick reminder,
let me a quick check.
Go for it. Tech check. How are we doing on audio?
Yeah, it's all good. Just check.
Excellent. So, in terms of weight, there is still a day and a half until your vestments are finished, which is what you need in order to go and face the war god. Will you rest and prepare for that day? Or would you like to use your remaining time some other way?
Everyone already went into the pyramid, so I think we can slow down the pace and before going to the second floor. Since I think we have to solve first the thing with the giant god Pharaoh.
Yeah, but we cannot solve anything with that until the armor is ready.
Indeed.
Yeah,
You are in fact waiting for the completion of a suit of armor.
Hang on. Bro, are you okay?
You talking to me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
It's my eyes are itchy. No,
Alright.
nothing big.
Understandable. So,
I have a little bit of an allergy. It's on my ear, on my nose, and on my eye. So it's a little bit annoying.
God, is my voice that bad? Because I notice you're only wearing headphones on the side where you're hearing me from.
No, I have headphones on both sides.
Oh God. Then maybe take one off. Just in case. Anyways, I'm joking. It's a joking mood. Because, quite frankly, you guys tore through that dungeon. I don't know, if I was you, I might be feeling a little confident after that challenge. But hey, if you want to take the benefits of a long rest, that can fast forward you either to the next day, should you want to use it for the purposes of going in the dungeon again, or you can fast forward out to when the suit is ready.
Or
Alternatively,
we could go get the what was the stone thing we were gonna get, but there was an acid rain there.
Oh,
That's correct.
the obsidian block.
Right.
Yeah, we can go
And
get
go
that.
back to get the obsidian block. That's actually a
Well.
very good idea.
I would consider that using up the rest of your day just in terms of tiredness, because remember that although time goes much slower when inside the confines of the pyramid, in the end of the day, you are having an up to 30-day, 30-hour long adventure for you. So, experimentally, you will start getting levels of exhaustion if you want to do more than that in a single day. But for simplicity's sake, let me just cue up our original soundtrack, which is not original at all. And I take it you guys are going right away for another expedition? Let's go then.
And then after this one, how long do we have to rest before going and face the god?
I would say you need at least 12 hours of rest to make a full rest. So depending on how you use your time, you can be, you could probably make several expeditions all in one go, but you could be very tired by the time things get dicey. So, you go back into the temple, and this time I'm not going to overly describe it since I did it during last session.
What you're playing is very loud. It's overcoming your voice.
Take it down. Is that better?
Yeah.
Let's turn down the beach as well. Okay, there should be some background music. A little bit more acceptable on the level now. So, I'm not going to re-describe the temple too much. It's exactly as last time. You go through a corridor of fog. You are suddenly in a deep night in front of the most titanic building you've ever seen. Just as before, there is a barely hidden stairwell up the cascade of mist that goes down the center. As you go again into the first level, it surprises you to know it's entirely possible to get used to feelings of temporal disconnection, but with the same feeling of vertigo, boom, you're back in room 1 with the large man impaled on a spear. And there is the wall that supposedly opens if you fight him, and to the right is the butthole.
Okay, so I look at the guy and say, I'm gonna call you Luis. Hi, Luis. And just go to the butthole tomorrow.
Here we go again.
Sure.
It spoke. It's alive. It's been
I
listening
know.
the whole time.
I know.
If that wasn't clear, the words he said were, my name was Kel. Past tense. Otherwise, he doesn't talk anymore. Unless you want to talk to him. So I figure you guys go through a giant butthole. To simplify things, I will ask for a group stealth check at a difficulty of 18, of which at least 2 of you must pass in order to avoid the giant tapeworm, which you know to be roaming the halls of this digestive temple.
What's the thing that you cast, Murakan?
I can. Oh, I
Pass
can
without
cast
trace.
it. I still have one use for pass without trace, actually. I can
Well,
use
if you spend it,
12,
that gives
right?
everybody a plus 10.
You want to
Yeah,
use
I
it or do you
think.
want? Okay.
Let me use it because your spell slots are more valuable in terms of combat, so let's see, 18, right?
That's correct. So everybody's rolling with a pretty fat stack. But, hey,
Yeah.
So I got
Oh,
a
it's a
10.
19 in the dice.
I got 10 plus 5, it's 15, plus the 10 from Pass Without Trace.
I always
More than
forget that
enough.
Zorok's actually sneaky. And Amadeus, do
Wait.
you pass it or fail it?
I got
Actually-
a 13 plus 10 plus 4.
Listen, you guys, you have no problem. Listen, I'm not gonna say that you guys know ass, but you certainly know this ass inside, and mostly inside. You know all of the curves to take, and you know where the false pathways are. And this time, you don't even trigger a contraction. You get to the stomach, and you know on the other side is the room with all of the acid. Just to test yourselves, I would say, not to put words into your character's mouths, you go inside and find that the acid is a fantastic skin cleanser, and it is in fact not harming you at all.
Oh man, this for the first time. I think I feeling great being the ass of a monster.
Never thought I'd hear you say that, but okay.
You never heard that about me.
That
And
sounds
just say
very weird.
anything, and if you say the opposite, I will refuse. I will deny everything until you die.
Here's the thing,
Yo.
if I was one of you guys and not the game master, I would have replied, I've seen the women you fuck. You don't get to say anything.
Alright. So, how the fuck are we doing this? This is a giant block of fucking rock.
Yeah, I have. Well,
So-
the thing is that they're supposed to play some sort of note, a high pitched note.
Yeah, that's what the
Yes.
raccoon said. We have to sing to this shit for a specific note, and then it breaks. That's what he said. So,
So just to remind you guys in very short, if you're able to hit a very specific note and sustain it, the block will begin to vibrate, and at that point, if you hit it, you can tear chunks off. Depending on how good the music is being done and how good the slicing, you may get more or less usable pieces. But be aware, obsidian is a laminary thing, so if it breaks wrong, it can be like trying to carry 2 perfect edges. Just careful with that. So,
Can
whoever has the
we-
highest performance bonus needs to sing and hit a specific note.
why
I tried to
cannot we
sing-
just reduce it and put it in a bag of holding?
But you can try to do that. You can certainly try.
I mean, we did it with a
they-
dragon.
Today must be the most fucking weird day in my life. The
Well, I
orc
first I touched
like
obsidian.
mage.
You touch the obsidian. So, you've touched regular volcanic obsidian before in your life. I'm going to change the music to something a little bit more investigative theme, because if you guys are taking a moment to do this correctly, you can say we're being Sherlock Holmesy about it.
I'm not hearing any music. Maybe turn it up just a little bit.
I've actually just turned off what I was listening to before. Here we go. This is a little bit too modern, but I'm not gonna stop to it. So you touch the obsidian and you know right off the bat that it's similar in a way to the jade stone that you've been seeing around. Like, you get that, for lack of a better term, it feels the way blood smells. How do I translate that into senses? I don't know. Probably the only person out of the three of you guys here could know that. So, additionally, even though it is a perfect block currently on what looks like a slimy base, you can't move this thing no matter how hard you push. Like, the weight of it terrifies you. It is by far the densest material you have ever encountered. And it makes sense, because the head of the lance that Zorak wields, supposedly the same thing. Like, the lance is really small when you get down to it. It's like, we're talking real life here, okay? And it is by far the strongest thing in his arsenal. So, terrifying material.
How big is this thing?
You know, it's a block by about 15 feet by 15 feet. It's a perfect chunk. Yeah, it's wild. It's a lot of stone. Now that you're looking at it and you've felt the weight and everything, why don't you roll me an intelligence check there for a moment?
That's a 19, buddy, plus... Hold on. Intelligence, you said?
Yes.
Is that something specific or just intelligence?
Just your intelligence.
That's a 24 then.
With a 17, with a 20, and a 21, you learn 3 different things. With a 17 is that this thing's probably pretty magic resistant on its own, which means that trying to levitate it wouldn't work. You might be able to reduce it, but bear in mind, it's a lot of very magical material. You might need so much juice, even in the quantities of extra you can add in this world with the new gold mechanic. I'm not sure you could do it for more than a few minutes. And finally, if you reduce it, it'll become so dense, you worry if you put it into like a bag of holding, it'll rip through the fabric and A, break the item, B, maybe cause a brief sphere of annihilation, which would be detrimental to whoever's wielding it. Sort of like having your groceries break through the bag.
Welcome to whatever this is. And yeah, let's hope for 20s for everyone.
Welcome, whatever this
That
is.
for sure.
Thank you for being here. And whatever this is, well, this is my idea of a D&D game. Currently, the heroes are trying to extract a big block of black stone from the arguably anus of a potentially dead god. Shit gets squirrely when you're in the temple. You're having a think about it.
So, old man, can you do your mumbo jumbo and get this thing out? Yeah.
Hold on, Juana Leguana.
Freaking fucking old man.
Listen, with the power of that meme, I need Amadeus to roll me a 1d. Listen, a difficulty 15 willpower check to not take psychic damage from the use of that meme. And whatever psychic damage you take, if you fail, you also deal to Morakan. You may choose to fail.
Okay. Hold on. What?
I had not heard that one in so many years. Jesus fuck.
That's the problem with the elf.
I'm being serious. Please remember,
You've been
people.
waiting for this.
ORO
Okay.
works on the Pratchett idea, the Pratchett theory of memetics, which is that ideas work and fly through the multiverse like particles. And when they hit your intelligence center, you get an idea. In ORO, because we're at the very end of the probable universe, we get hit with a lot of memes. And so people know that sometimes you get hit with an idea that's not yours. But we're lucky to have it. So, willpower 15, or you take a 1d4 psychic damage.
Okay. 1d4. 1.
Both you and Murakhan have a little nosebleed. You are also immune to this effect for an hour. Because this is not meant to punish people, this is just a quirk of the world. So,
Okay,
And
so
I don't know who Juana is, but if that
What if-
Juana makes my nose bleed like that, I will be so glad to meet her. To meet her, sorry. So to meet her.
Okay.
To
So,
meet her.
I have an idea.
an idea is being had.
Yeah, and so here's the thing. What if I reduce the thing? Okay, hear me out. No, because it's gonna be only minutes. And how do we fucking get it out?
Yeah.
Well, you know that you're pretty close to the boss fight, and you could bum rush the bastard again. You were able to take him out pretty handily.
Yeah, but we've exhausted a lot of resources in the process, so
It's fair enough.
Pretty sure that she won't be happy that we go rampage in her teeth,
Well,
for
well,
lack
let me
of a
know.
better.
How long does
word.
it take us to go back?
Well, if you wanted to walk back the way you've come, which, while annoying, is physically possible, I think it'd take you an hour, which you don't think any of the magical phenomena that you went through to get here are one way. So, like, you could do it. Gold-wise, that's gonna cost you near on 7 to 10 grand if you want to keep the cast going, you think. The problem is, this material is so dense, there may be other properties to it once it's all packed together like that. Like weird, funky quantum shit once things get so dense. Like, this is not your field of magic, you just know this is like advanced mathematics. You're more of a generalist. So there may be
Now
complications.
let's do something then. Who has the best performance? Let's cut this shit, and I'll find it. I'll move it.
I think that's me. I have 3 on performance.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
so if you're gonna sing, let me know. If you're not reaching the note, I can hit you in the nuts. I've heard that helps.
Hey, I mean,
Yeah.
listen, you know what they said about Michael Jackson?
All right, I have a +4 in
Chemical
charisma.
castration! Okay.
I have a +4 in charisma, which
So you
gives me
have
a
the
+4.
highest performance.
But is Amadeus a good singer? That's a good question. Or do you have anything in your arsenal that might help you augment a voice?
I have prestidigitation, which I think lets me. I have thaumaturgy. Those two-
Isn't thaumaturgy about heat? I'm not sure. I don't see I don't see them being practical use.
No, I think it lets you augment the voice, so it could.
But you have to be concentrated while casting that.
I'll say if you are using your magic to do that, you can give advantage to whoever is attempting the performance roll. Now, gentlemen, I'll let you know
then.
the difficulty to make the block vibrate is a 21. You may attempt to do this more than once. So if you're helping each other, you can roll, 3-4 times, see if you achieve it. I'll let you know something. You may not be eaten by the acid right now, but it is filling the chamber.
Okay. going to get out here, so let's just make some noise.
All right.
Okay, so the way it's
Now-
shaking out, Murakan, you roll performance with advantage. You're trying to hit a 21, roll 4 times. And when he hits it, Zurok, if he hits it, roll a melee attack. You hit automatically, so just roll me damage
Okay.
when it happens. And I'll tell you if you're able to break the stone.
I want to know if I can lower the difficulty by trying to make a note, trying to perform the action.
If you're able to maintain a specific note as a person, I'll let you take a 5 bonus. Why not?
So what's the note? Because I don't know.
This
if
is the
I
part
would be
where I
able to-
reveal that I am completely musically dumb, so fuck it. I mean, I want to say a high C. Can you do that?
I don't know what that high C is, but if you can play something with a high C, I may be able to.
Listen,
Get
I
there.
hear on the pentatonic scale there is a chord that makes the GM laugh. If you can hit that note, the note that makes the GM laugh, we'll call that the music.
Your voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal for 1 minute. It doesn't need concentration.
Oh yeah, that counts as advantage. So,
What's the note? I don't know what's the note.
I don't know, man. You're the one that's trying to sing.
You have to be high.
Okay, so it's a cantrip. So I cast it on myself, and I try I try going from the lower note to the higher note to see at what point it starts to break.
It is definitely a higher note.
Okay.
If you had a woman in the group, it would be much easier, but it's definitely something in the tenor. So knowing that does lower the difficulty by 3 points. We're talking at an 18.
An 18. Okay, with
Yes, you
advantage,
have.
right?
That's correct.
Okay. Plus, it's 18 plus. It's 15. It's plus my charisma, right?
Yes,
your
charisma
performance,
performance.
It's 15 plus 4 is 19.
Please make me a funny sound, my friend. Please make a while I describe what happens now. Zurok, please roll damage. Keep going until he gives me the damage.
It's a 12.
As the wizard makes use of his newly improved superhuman lungs, you see at one moment that the whole of the block begins to vibrate, which, I mean, it's surprising, but you're able to notice it in how the vibration moves your feet, Zurok, and you don't even have to look at it to know that it's the moment. You swing down, pew! And a piece of the black stone is lopped off. Now, what weapon did you use to attack?
My greatsword.
That's broken. Sorry. Its one edge is completely dulled. It has been bent out of shape. The piece of block stone that came off isn't anything crazy. It's maybe a little over the size of a fist. But it was sheared cleanly, so it's like you have like a small pyramid made out of pyramid obsidian. It's about the size of a thing to put on your desk, but in terms of material, you could make some good things out of it. So-
This magic weapon is a weapon that I create, or this? Hold on, just keep talking. Let me check it myself.
Just to say, the room is filling up with acid. It is now up to your knees.
How about we get the fuck out of here first?
Hold on. No, okay, I can make it magical. Let's try one more time, and then we go. And I cast a magical weapon on his weapon. Now that weapon is.
Oh, we have a new follower. Welcome, Atomic Yoroi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. Oh, I should have changed those follow alerts from when we had the noir stream. But thank you very much for being here, and We hope to continue
what stream?
entertaining you. Oh, the one we did as a placeholder when we played Never Stop Blowing Up.
Okay.
You want the one where it seemed as if I had taken cocaine, but in fact had not, as that is just how I am.
Oh, I know.
Anyways.
I know you.
Amadeus, if you add magical damage, that may in fact produce a higher effect. As you now know the note, you may roll now. The difficulty is down to a 15 to hit the
Do I
performance
need to use
check.
another weapon?
You could use the Blackstone Lance, and you could. I mean, you can still use your sword. From what you noticed, the sharpness had little to do with it. It was more about hitting it. So, if it's already broken, use the same thing.
Why didn't you use the fucking lance that is made of this obsidian material?
I don't know. Force of habit, I guess.
You could use it.
Yeah, I'll grab the fucking lance. Do I have to roll anything since I have to use it with disadvantage? Or just roll the damage?
No, just roll the damage. Now, Amadeus, please do the performance check.
16 plus 4, 20.
That works.
16 plus 4, 20.
It begins to vibrate again. That's a dirty 20. Just how I like my girls.
Okay, so... Shit. Sorry.
Yeah, I like them dirty
That's
and
max.
at 20.
It's a 7. Plus 4. No, wait. That's a 7 plus...
It's the lance you
4,
are using.
yeah.
Is the effect from magical weapon that you used, Amadeus, is that just a flat damage increase, an addition of a magical property? Does that affect?
Do touch on a
Should be
magical
a
weapon to expand that weapon because a magical weapon with a +1 bonus to attack roll and damage rolls.
Okay, so it's a plus 5. 7 plus 5 is a 12.
Okay, so this time you shear off another piece that's about twice as big, and funnily enough, it also breaks off into a perfect little pyramid. This time, although you used... Question, did you use the Black Lance to do this, or did you roll with your battered sword?
He did it with the lance.
Yeah, I use a lance.
So... I'm gonna need you to roll me a luck check, and you wanna... It's a 1d20, and you choose high or low.
I'm gonna go with low. God damn it, it's a 20.
You get a 20. Ah, fuck.
So
Don't worry.
This does change things.
Whatever.
What does happen is that the point of the lance breaks off into a million pieces. I am sorry.
Alright,
But
can
what
we fucking
does-
go before I lose all of my weaponry on this damn stone?
But what does
better
also
yours than
happen
mine,
is
okay?
that the piece that you broke off before, instead of being about the size of a desk ornament, is now substantially bigger. You are left off with a pretty manageable set of triangles. It's very strange how it seems to have broken apart as Lego blocks, but more than one of them is now the length of a sword. Now, in order to... I'm gonna let you guys know something. While this has happened, the asset is now up to your growing area. If you want to put all of the pieces into a bag of holding quickly, that's gonna be a strength check from everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Okay, let me help you then.
God damn it, what the fuck is this cough?
So what? We're checking what? Athletics?
It's... Yes, let's use athletics instead of pure strength for this.
Okay.
But you want to do it fast.
If it's athletics, I got a 16 plus 7, that's 22.
Difficulty being 20. Go for it. What do you get?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I got a 17.
No.
On the die?
No. 13 plus 4.
Okay, Murakhan, what did you get?
I got a 10 total, so I will try to
You
use...
fumble
I
a piece. Amadeus, I'm gonna give you a choice. Do you want to
use
grab
a lucky
the
point.
item hard? Do you want to use all of your strength to hold the piece? You want to tighten your hand?
I wanna use my inspiration point to reroll the dice.
Go for it.
I want to use
This
a
time you
lucky
keep it.
point to.
Okay, now I got an
the-
18 plus.
Murakan, you can do another roll if you want. Amadeus, you were telling me? What do you get this time?
18 plus 4, that's a 22.
Fuck.
Okay, Amadeus and Surok, you both pull pieces of perfect black stone and put them into your bag. Surok, you see the bag actually complain as the pieces hit the inside of it, and you both see that the edges, though not gleaming, are incredibly sharp. So if you have tightened your hand, you may have been able to get a better grip. You would have hurt yourself. Now, as a group, I'm gonna let you guys know. You know that there is one more piece of blackstone down in the vial, but unless you use this action to try to leave, the entire room is going to be filled with acid, and we will move over to swimming rules.
Can I use Mage Hand and bring it with Mage Hand while we're walking?
You can do that if you roll me a difficulty 18 Arcana check, as the thing is not only supernaturally heavy, but upon contact with your mage hand, you realize it is also draining magic.
Okay, so it's a, what difficulty you said?
18 Arcana.
18. Okay, baby, that's an 11 plus 8. That's 19.
You're able to... Guys, you see the reborn wizard use a mage hand, which you cannot see yet because when it is manifested, it is inside of the bile that is all around you. You just see Amadeus make the face you presume he makes when he's got difficulty going number 2. And after a little bit, a invisible hand dripping with acid comes out into the little space of air that you have and throws the last triangle into the bag, which goes at Surok's pocket. Now, this room is damn near completely filled with bile acid, and I assume you don't waste a lot of time and you reach for the exit.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here, guys.
So,
Let's
the
go
exit,
to the
which
next.
is another butthole, much like the ones that you've gone through before, opens before you, only to reveal that it is covered by a half dome of bone, as the stomach acid is being held. You gave the thing reflux, so now it's closing up here so it doesn't puke. What are you gonna do, gentlemen? There's a timer going, after which you will start to have to do constitution checks to keep your breath.
Is that we try to go the exit or the way we came?
That's the exit.
Okay, so try to go back the way we came.
Well, that is another butthole door down at the bottom, which you see is, at the moment, closed, but hey, maybe it doesn't have a bone cap on the other side. You guys want to go down there?
Well,
Yeah.
I think that will be the better option. If we cannot pass through the exits,
Without having many more options, you guys hit the ceiling, which is now, well, which was the wall you were going to go out of, and hit the one on the far wall. And after a little bit of prying and prodding, you are, as a group, pretty strong, so I won't make you roll a strength check here. You are able to head on down the digestive tract. The excess of acid brings you down without being able to resist it, as there aren't any handholds. You are hurtling on a wave of acid down a digestive tract of a dead god. On the way through, we'll get our gentleman back or apply damage when we get back. I'm afraid I'm going to roll a luck check, and you are either going to want a roll that's high or low. Gentlemen, high or low, what do we pick as a group?
Murakan,
what do you want? No, tell me what do you want, and it will be pick the opposite, because your luck today is on the other
Yeah.
side.
So I'm gonna go with low again.
Low. Very well. That is a 13. Unfortunately, that is high.
I told you to get. I told you to do it. Why did you let me do it?
I told you, tell me
So-
what do you want, and you say to him, we go to the low. You have
As
to
you
tell
hurl
me Tell me, word.
I said I go low. You said
So
nothing.
So the orc and the dragonborn ranger fight each other in the torrent of acid and continue fighting amongst each other when the giant tapeworm tries to take a swipe of them. I'm gonna let you guys know this is not enough to kill you. You guys can tell me if you want me to roll the damage or if you just want to take an average.
Average of what damage? Because the average could be high.
Well, I'll say this is one of those cases where because I'm using high dice, maybe it's a high average, but if I roll them, it could also become a lot of damage. So you tell me, man. How comfortable you feel?
Wait, what is the thing that is something attacking us, right?
Yeah, you guys are essentially going to take an amount of damage from the tapeworm that moves through these holes.
Okay, 10. But it's just flat damage. We just take the damage, or we have to attack.
It's flat damage.
So my lucky point won't be of help here because it's the disadvantage to the attack.
Well, actually, if you have a luck
Okay.
point, you can spend it to automatically get half damage, because this does come with a save. I'm just saying, do you want me to roll the damage, or do you want me to give you an average? The average will be faster, and you're maybe more likely to survive it. Amadeus, what has happened is that you guys were thrown into the digestive system, and because of a luck check, you have unfortunately met the Guardian Tapeworm, which is just gonna do you guys some damage. As it rakes you on your way past. This damage is going to be quite high, but it's probably not enough to kill you. The question that I'm posing you guys is, do you want to just take the damage averaged, or should I roll it?
You're mute.
You're muted.
Mute.
Okay, sorry. Why is it hurting us? Why is he causing us damage? What's the source of damage?
Because we are being
slicing
defecated
with
by the
pedipalps.
god.
He's attacking us.
Basically, you guys are being hurled on a torrent of gastric juice. The gastric juice itself doesn't hurt you, but this thing is kind of not just a worm, it's more like a copepod. It has thousands of slicing tiny legs to move with. So one way or another, you're going through a bit of a grinder.
Okay.
And not the fun version where hot guys come to your house.
Okay, decide. You have to decide because Surokja already give us a lot of trouble. So, do you want him the average or do the average or the dice? I will spend anyways the luck point so we can get half of the damage.
Just to let you guys know, I suppose I neglected to say this, you need to roll me a dexterity saving throw, difficulty of 20 to halve the damage.
What if I cast Bark Skin?
That
Barkskin.
would be enough on the group to avoid taking the damage from all of the many hits. So if you spend that, you do it.
Okay.
So, Murakan and Surok, as you guys are fighting each other, two things happen very quickly. The first one is that a turd the size of a child passes between the two of you. The second one is that you are all hit by the protective field of Amadeus's magic, and you notice how, even though you can't move very much, and your skin becomes hard when you meet the pale pink monstrosity that is lying in wait in the tubes of flesh, and its thousands of tiny legs attempt to scythe at you, that they break off harmlessly. And you realize that maybe this thing doesn't do the killing itself, but it certainly helps with digestion. So, with the speed at which you're traveling, you end up taking a side path, which you didn't check last time, and for lack of a better term, you guys ever see the Ace Ventura movie? Well, that's not what happens. What happens is that you are thrown back to the first room where the impaled guy was. The tubes round in on themselves, only instead of coming out the side, you are dropped from the ceiling.
So we'll literally defecated with a lot of muchachos de mierda.
Yeah, a funny thing is
Shut
that
out.
you guys went into a room in which I described that one side wall is an anus, and nobody thought to say, how about the other walls? Turns out there was one on top of you as well. The rule of game design is gamers never look up.
There's that, yeah.
So I don't
gentlemen.
think I will ever look up as if there is a guy in pale looking up.
So as you're there, Kale says, "You look like shit."
Oh,
no,
fuck you.
Sherlock.
Look who's talking.
So he doesn't respond to that. I suppose you guys make your way outside in the meantime.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just stand up and say, well, that was a bit of a shitty plan, wasn't it? Let's get the fuck out.
It was the best one you had for the moment, but it could have been a lot worse. Very good on the bark skin there at the end, man. It's, by the way, that can affect more than one person, or did I just make your life a little bit too easy?
You just made it too easy, but anyways, what I was gonna do, we're going like down the tube, right?
Yes.
Okay, I will cast it. I will double cast it on Murakan and Zurok, and I'll just be using a shield.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. If they were in front of you, they would have been like the hard breaker to all of the things that you had to go through anyway, so you guys have done it. And you can add to your inventory 3 pieces of black stone, 2 of medium size and 1 of large size, for the purposes of making materials out of. Now,
That's for the party or each one of us.
that's for the party. You can choose where you keep it, but I recommend keeping it inside of the enchanted bag of holding that is currently at Zorok's belt. The red bag with the teeth on it.
So, 2 pieces of...
3. 2 medium, 1 large.
That's correct.
3 pieces.
Just gotta let you know, that stuff is, that is actually very, very valuable material.
Yeah,
Okay.
the fat guy in the campaign will be crazy shit.
As a matter of fact, yes. I'm not going to spoil his reaction so far, because as we are currently on the hour and 5 minutes mark, we're going to take the first quick break of the night. This is going to be 5 to 10 minutes max, I'm letting you guys know. But just for a very small spoiler, as part of the game's lore, the Empress herself used the weapon made out of the goddamn stuff. You guys know this, as the tale has been told before. But the Empress herself had a long blade made out of royal obsidian, which weighed no more than a feather.
You know, this character, I'm trying to find the old sheet, but I can't find it. I didn't copy it on this one. But do you know that this character was actually stone carver? Would like to carve in stone. Like one of his hobby was carving in stone.
Actually, I didn't know that. You may not have added that detail. Before we head off
No,
into
not
our
to
break,
this one. Do you have the old one?
not sure. That might be somewhere on my computer. Let me just look that up really quick for you.
Because I think it was noted there. That's what I'm looking for, because I don't want to, But I did add it because I remember that's one of the perks it has. It had.
Let me see, where is this saved? Open path, take PDF. This is the only file with Amadeus that I have on my computer, brother. Check to see if it's that one. So, before we head into our 10-minute break, gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this first part of the session. I very much appreciate everybody's being here and their appearance. I hope you're enjoying it. I need to turn off the heating before I overheat and die like a fool. Is there anything that you would like to say to our audience before we head on? And before we
Don't go anywhere.
Before we go, will you be using the last day as a full rest and skipping forward, or will you be using the day that is available to you?
I think it will be great to take a rest. That's all that shit.
Yeah, and I need to find a way to either repair or replace my fucking sword, because that's my
Have to
main
give the
weapon.
obsidian to the crafter.
Oh shit, yeah, between your broken sword and the lance, you're kind of out of weapons, aren't you?
I still have a flail, but that's not ideal.
I didn't mean to do that to you, but it's just, look, the block is vibrating with the frequency that can break it. You touch the same material to it, it transmits. I didn't want to... It was just an opportunity, but I think you'll be able to make good stuff out of the stones that I make for you. So,
At the end of
with
the
that-
day, it was better to break your weapons than my weapons. So, thank you
Fuck
for
you.
your service there.
We see now the dynamic evolving between these characters. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I declare officially that we're going on our break. Count 10 minutes as of now. Diez minutitos, mis señores. What do you need? Okay. You could say that he's proficient in stone carving. Absolutely. A magical rune. Okay. Also, did you... I'm supposed to be going on the rest. I think this is technically audio going out to stream, but did you think about what the architect mentioned last time? The ability to make a flying saucer. Well, I'm going out to stream. You don't go out to stream. So that audio... If I make this adjustment... No, you can't hear me if I turn that off. Anyways, we're on the break. See you guys back in 5 to 10 at most. Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we slowly return from our break as we await the arrival of one of our players. We should all be here shortly. Allow me to put my little son and war beast down as we reopen screen and say hi to everyone as we're getting into gear. Welcome back, Amadeus. Oh dear lord, I must open a window for it is too damn hot. Should have turned the heating off earlier.
Isn't it winter there?
Not quite. The seasons are all out of whack. Apparently someone's been casting a warming spell on the entire atmosphere and it's causing things to stop working correctly. What do you fucks do to your planet?
That's a good question.
Anyways, what did you do? What did the bad people do to the planet, my son? No, we can't kill the bourgeoisie. They pay our bills. I know. He is oh so radical. Oh dear, it seems we traded Murakan for Amadeus, but we shall have him back in but a few moments.
To anyone in chat, what do you guys think of our shit show?
I hope somebody... Yes, that is actually a good question to ask. You see, I cannot actually see the amount of people that are with us, partly because of Streamlabs and partly for my own well-being. So, please everyone, feel welcome to comment, say what you like and what you dislike, and what you'd like to do to us in private. Say what you like and what you dislike.
Where I'm getting echo somewhere.
So, we have our delightful friend Murakan back. Okay, gentlemen, are we ready to continue?
Yep.
I just hope my little war beast doesn't go insane out in the yard if such a thing happens. His father will have to go out and retrieve him most expeditiously. So therefore, let us just go back to a little bit of music. We're gonna have some beach sounds with seagulls, perhaps. I hope it doesn't drown things out too much. Seems to be okay in terms of audio. Very well, gentlemen. So if you have all taken the day for a rest...
Well, no, not so much for a rest. I first go to Otter.
Very well. Just to clarify, with the day that's remaining, if you want to take a full rest, that's going to take half of the time allowed, up to 12 hours. So that means you have half a day in terms of what to do with. This is just because doing the extra expedition into a pyramid, well, relatively fast, leaves you so tired that you skip over to end of day. So you go over to the workshop. You guys may benefit from a full rest. When you get there, you find that the construction of the armor is well underway, and the thing now looks less like a mannequin and more like something that could fit you. Kinda wild. There's only Otter here working on his own piercing little pieces of leather with stone.
Hey, big man. How you doing?
Oh, hello, Master Sorok. Welcome back. How did your expeditions into the temple go?
Fairly well, except, well, I
Or the
need
shit?
some help. So, first, the good news. I take out the pieces of stone and lay them in front of me.
So they are so big, even with your considerable personal strength, you have to heave them out of the bag of holding. And the whole bag actually looks relieved when you take them out. Sort of like, I mean, it's passing some serious stones. And just as
So I
each
look
one of
at
them
it and
hits the
say,
ground...
hey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna just put it back.
And Otter's eyes just grow, and grow. And he goes, oh my. You found a veritable treasure hoard.
And this is as much as we could get out.
Well,
Yeah,
that's saying
there's
something.
more inside.
Well, I have to tell you something. This is way beyond my abilities, for the most part. I'm just letting you know, I am not this type of craftsman. That doesn't mean I can't do something crude with it, but I'm not going to be the person to transform these blocks of stone into a powerful blade for you.
I mean,
Not that
it
it's
would be a
impossible.
blade I cannot use at the end of the day. Speaking of blades, I need someone, maybe not you, but someone who can help me with my sword. My trusty old sword. I need it fixed.
So how bad would you say that it's damaged? Because I, as the game master, have a fairly funny image in mind. But was it a regular old longsword?
It was a great sword.
Could be.
Listen, you know what the guards in Skyrim say about curved swords? Well, it's not that. This thing has been completely destroyed. Even the architect, who is not really a man of war, looks at it and goes, oh, yeah, that's no good. I mean, I can try to straighten it out for you, but if the edge on that thing is completely lost, you're gonna have to take that to a smith.
Is there any of your legionnaires who could do the trick?
Wouldn't hurt to ask, but again, without equipment. That being said, you did promise the pigeon man you were gonna make your way over to Tenki. I can assume you'll find craftsmen over there.
Yeah, but then again, I don't think we're gonna do that in time.
Are you worried, perhaps? Are you doubting the success of your endeavors?
I mean, apparently, by unanimous vote, I have been the one chosen to go talk to Blood Jaguar. And
Oh dear.
that can easily go south.
Well, yes. Not to mention the conversation itself. Listen, young man.
Yeah.
You've lost if you are afraid you've lost before you've even tried. I can garb you in my best attempt at dragon skin armor, daub you in pieces of a dragon's brain, and soak you up full of water, but there's a reason these beings are known as gods of war. The kind of people that they look for when they look for an apprentice.
So, let's talk about that topic for a bit.
I'll tell you what I can. I mean, I know more than the average. It's not folklore, if that's what the pigeon told you before. The Titans exist.
Yeah, I got that much. Now, the thing is, from what everyone's told me, it's going to ask for blood. There are some blood reserves here, but I'm not sure there's going to be enough. Or an
Not just that.
apprentice.
Not just that, but if we're being quite honest here, I've never understood why they asked for blood. Such beings are so mighty, not even the curse seems to be a particular detriment to them. So, I think... Have you ever heard the phrase, beware the friendship of powerful men, for it comes at a price?
I guess. But I can understand the idea.
Well, I think these powerful men are only really interested in one thing, and that is more of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but
just
then
my
again-
opinion. That's just my opinion.
Okay, so since you're more knowledgeable than any of us around here, let's say that we don't have enough blood. He's of course going to ask for an apprentice. That I doubt we can provide.
Not necessarily. It doesn't
What
mean
kind-
that he will take you on immediately. It's more of a promise.
What kind of apprentice are we talking about? And what are the, let's say, requirements?
Well, as you know, we derive much of our power from the sacred blood that we obtain from our mistress and goddess. I ply my craft one way, but there are many others who study the arts of war and enlightenment through those powers. Whenever we use such a power, it manifests in our bodies as bright red energy, and so the Scarlet Monks, as the name I believe by now you might understand, are one of such traditions. They, of course, must be reborn and spend much time in their secluded mountain fortresses, studying and attempting to reach enlightenment to commune with our goddess. So, what I can imagine one of the titans would ask of an apprentice is the promise that they will seek rebirth, and when next the titan sees them, that they will join them on their pilgrimage.
Okay. Is one of your legionnaires up to the task?
Why don't you ask them? They are
Sounds
scattered about the
about right.
camp.
Alright, so, well, see what you can do, please, about the sword. I'll try to round them up and see if I get any volunteers.
Listen, if I'm not able to fix your sword, I can make you a mace out of my own stone. Just
Can you make
something
it
so that you can
two-handed?
fend yourself. Absolutely, yeah. I've still got enough flap left, and he pinches a roll of fat about his waist.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Alright, so I turn and start walking out, and I look for Rice, the girl that I met before.
Excellent. Before I move over there with you, Amadeus and Morkan, are you going to use this time, this day, for anything in particular? Call it midday
want to
the
know.
day after.
I just want to know. Go ahead.
I try to take just a piece of the stone, if it's possible, just a piece like this size, so I can carve something for my staff later.
Well, you know, it's awkward, but without making any rolls, I'll say that you spend a half an hour trying to replicate the exact sound that it takes, and you break off a little piece out of one of the triangles, and with it you can carve a rune. A rune is not just a letter, but sometimes a word all of itself, so you're limited here. You probably can't make a whole phrase, but is there any piece of meaning that you think this super dense bit of black stone would be good for?
Let's just hold it on a piece, then I'll carve later, and I'll let you know. I'll just have to think about it.
Very well. Morkan,
Okay.
what will you be doing with your time?
I will be trying to bond with Jin, trying to know more about him.
Okay,
Maybe
in that sense,
go around there eating some chicken, not chicks. Sorry.
therefore, the next scene finds Surok walking towards the cooking section of camp, where the majority of the legionnaires, now resting, are busy around a communal cauldron cooking pretty much anything that the diverse people around camp have been catching over the past few days. There's plenty of jungle chicken. There are also a number of reeds that people are making tea out of, and the tribe of Little Frog, the Kui men, have caught a veritable menagerie of small lizards, and all of it is for the purposes of presenting Little Jin Long with every new dish that people are able to make out of the environment around you. So Morgan, you're just sitting there on a log by the fire as a sushi sort of platter line is passed in front of you, and your little buddy on your shoulder goes, "Eat a piece of that, I want to taste it." And you know, eventually something comes by that you know is a piece of fish with a really spicy paste on the bottom, and Jin is going, "Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. I want to taste it. I know it's gonna hurt. Let me have some. Let me have some. Come on."
Do you are able to bite by yourself?
No,
Okay,
I don't have a
let's
body.
fucking
I
go.
can only experience what you experience.
Let's fucking go then.
So you
You only live once. I just bite the chunk, right? I just give a chunk to the
okay?
Sashimi.
Roll me a Constitution check, saving check, DC 15.
Damn.
Okay. 15. This is going to hurt, man. It's an 18. Ooh. 18 in the die is 20.
So your mouth gets very hot and you swallow, and the weirdest thing happens. You can't talk until one of the legionnaires looks you in the eyes and goes, "So that is a lying pepper?" You can only say something that is either a deep truth or a very big lie, and if you lie, you're going to breathe fire. This is one of our cultural foods, man. You better learn to like it. And the longer you take, the more fire it's gonna be, so... a truth or a lie?
I actually don't hate the fucking orc.
Is that true or a lie?
Let's find out. I just like the randomness in my life. So high or low?
You choose.
Big Suro, high or low? Do I hate you?
Hi.
Well, it's a lie.
Well, when that happens, you blast some fire. Not as much as if you were like a dragon breath. You take a point of damage, and your mouth feels singed. It is only 1 point of damage, and after that, the burn dies down quite quickly, and it leaves you with a very pleasant aftertaste. So, Trooper Haspig, who's called Rice by her crew, is telling you, yeah, these are lying peppers. We have these priests that eat these things by the handful, and it lets them make like a circle on the ground where if anybody lies, their whole tongue burns off. And like, it's wild, because if you don't tell the truth, you can start burning up from the inside. It's not my
Okay.
favorite
Why
form
don't
of
you-
execution.
Why don't you put that in the note with the plate? Are you happy
Well,
now?
where you going to
I don't
lie?
know. You're the one who burned your own fucking mouth. Don't look at me.
Hey, Zorak. She says
Hey.
hi to you. There's another half a dozen of legionnaires just enjoying their meal. And yeah, there are some lying peppers around. Jin goes, "Woo, that one was really good." I
You
like
like
that
it?
one. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Can we have some tea now?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I
tea,
go
tea,
around picking some things to eat for him, for us, and while doing that, I try to find ORO, because I think we still have a conversation pending with him.
Well,
With
at the
me,
moment,
Jin, and him.
unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see him on this part of camp because this is far away enough from the tree itself. You think he only kind of manifests around inside, very close to the plaza. But you can go there, no problem. In the meantime, you know, Jin Long says to you, dude, you are the best older brother. You are the best. My previous older brother. What counts as a lie?
What's a lie? If the eater is colorblind and says the sky is green, would they breathe fire?
Good question. So this is one of those things that you can get out of by doing these kinds of low-grade paradoxes, but it is the typical type of stalling practice which during a trial will result in your knees being broken with a wooden cane. Because why would you be trying to avoid the truth in the middle of a trial?
Okay. So if you eat it for fun, it's good to have paradox. If you're being judged, just say the fucking truth.
Yeah, because what happens when you do a paradox is the heat just increases a little more. So it's a fun type of food where if you're hanging out with like your crush and you're like, hey, do you like me? Have a pepper. And what they say, you're gonna know what the truth is, because if it's the truth, no fire is gonna come out. And so on and so forth. Yeah, maybe the person themselves doesn't know that they're lying, but they do. It's about your own perception of the truth. So if you see the sky as green and you say green, then fucking fine. But, you know, let's not get down into the weeds of it right now. It's fucking magic and shit, brother. So.
Alright.
So, Zurok, Morkan, you're both over here. Having some peppers. Your brain exploded.
I try to find like a high place, or if everyone is sitting down, I stand up.
Okay,
Say,
you stand up. You are actually the tallest person around.
Ladies and gentlemen from the Legion, I need a moment of your time, please.
About half a dozen faces turn to you.
I grab the pepper and give it to him and say, if you eat this, they will listen to you.
Yeah, man, we'll listen. We'll listen. Yeah, that's how it works. It's the talking pepper.
I already saw you. I already heard the explanation, so no.
No, you didn't. They roll a gaslight check. Anyways.
All right.
Please continue.
So, guys, is this all of you?
Wait. I look at the crowd and say, isn't that right?
Yes.
For the truth, my friend.
It is, very much. So, that's about half of them. The other half is working around camp, doing some of the usual, you know, terrain building. But you can assume whatever you say, they will tell the rest.
All right. So, guys, I have a big thing to tell you and ask you.
That's a lie.
Shut the fuck up, will you? Now listen, as you all have heard at this point, we got a big ass red motherfucker coming this way named Blood Jaguar. And he's going to ask for one of two things: blood or an apprentice. We probably don't have the blood. And as I understand, he's going to need someone to make a promise to join them.
Not me.
Go on.
Not me. Not me. A bunch of hands going, not me.
I understand that this is a big thing to ask. Probably a scary fucking thing to ask. But I need you to consider the following. If we don't stop him, he keeps coming. And we all burn and die. Plain and simple. Maybe there are other solutions, but I don't know them.
So, something is going to happen now. And I wonder if you guys are going to catch it. But as a group, the Legionnaires look at you with a face of, what the fuck are you asking us to do? In your wildest dreams, you might not have thought what you see in their face to be there. But it is a sense of very much, how dare you ask? Aren't you supposed to protect us? Of course, something in this equation is not exactly right. If you roll an insight check, you might be able to get it. But it is
Difficulty?
very clear from the faces looking at you that you're asking them for the impossible.
Difficulty?
I'll say a 15 tells you something, a 20 nails the understanding.
I got an 18.
I don't have any plus on it.
What is the difference between a PC and an NPC? What is the difference between a tough person that you've met in your life versus you, Zurok, the warrior? Maybe not thinking about it in in-game terms, but you know for a fact some people are heroes, for good or ill, because they've stepped up against the darkness outside. You realize that the people looking at you may be part of the fighting corps, but they think of themselves deep down as civilians compared to the things that are out there. You don't know
Listen.
if it's just this group of soldiers or if it's a thing about their civilization, with some people being huge and superpowered and others expendable.
So,
But you're not going to find volunteers here. You're clear
so I
on that.
know that this is likely to be a negative answer from everyone, and I understand. I am asking you to basically abandon everything and join what's, from what little I understand, a death sentence, in a manner of speaking. But I want to protect this place. But since I am not from around here, there's a lot I don't know, and speaking to a war god counts among that. I'm working with the information that you have, so give it a think it over, ask the rest, and if the answer is still a no, sure, I'll fuck off. I'll never ask you about this again.
One of the male legionnaires walks up to you. He's like a head shorter than you, and with all of his strength punches you in the chest. You take no damage. His fingers are mangled. He goes, ow. Makes more sense to me, man. He walks away and goes, fuck, I shouldn't have tried to do that to someone.
See, you still have the pepper. And I go walking to the plaza to try to find Horus.
Alright, so I grab the fucking pepper, I eat it, and I say, I really want to help, but I don't know how.
All you get is the tasty aftertaste. And noticing that, the legionnaire known as Rice, and another one who you've not spoken to before, says, listen, man, most of us heard of that stuff. We think about the war titans as fairy tales, but I can at least tell you one thing. Like, one of the stories I heard when I was a kid said the titan, most of their apprentices rarely live long enough for the master to come back for them. So all I can say is you may be entering into a deal that is not going to come collect just yet.
Yeah, but I cannot promise a life without consent. I cannot just go and say, hey, yes, one of our legionnaires will join you. For that to be a lie. What if it turns out that you do live until then and I just doomed you? I'm not gonna do that to you.
Even then, it's how do I put this? Not only do I not think that I could survive getting close enough to the fucking thing, even wearing that armor that the architect has been working on. Why would they take a nobody from the legions?
I grab a piece of food and, you know, some drink, water some things down, and say, I was born in prison. By all accounts, I should have died before I reached half the height I have right now. Not only was I a nobody, I was scum as far as the world was concerned. The difference between a nobody and whatever the hell you think I am is how much you refuse to stay the way you are. That's all I can say about that.
Sounds great. I'm still in a contract for 10 years, and my money is being sent to my family. And to be entirely frank, I thought you were better than this.
A lot of people think that. I'm sorry. And I just walk, not feeling too great about myself. I start walking towards the tree.
As you walk away, like he jeers at you and goes, "What the fuck were you talking to the? Why was the eagle talking to you all this time for?"
I don't know. Okay? I don't know.
No.
There's shit people see in me that I don't. I don't know what you guys see in me. I don't know what Tamok sees in me. I don't know what anybody in this damn place sees in me. All I can tell you is I'm doing my best with what little I know and what little I have. So I'm gonna put that fucking armor, go talk to the war giant, and see what the fuck I can do. And by the accounts I have, well, I'm gonna get a lot of burning and little else. See you later.
Hey. He turns around and, one of his compatriots puts a hand on his shoulder. He doesn't feel good about it either. But
I look at everyone else and I cast thaumaturgy to amplify my voice, and I say, "You're just a bunch of pussies," and go walking behind Zura.
they make gang signs at you as they walk away. But the legionnaires know it's nobody's brightest moment, because even I made Zorak roll for it for insight, but they know that they are leaving a fight off to somebody else. And hey, heroes, shame us, because the show has the choices that we could have made. As I'll assume that Amadeus, you probably to put you in scene. Would you mind if I said that you were meditating among the branches of the family tree? As you see Murakan come into the main plaza, having a conversation and carrying little bits of food and eating them slowly while conversing with Jinlong. And you are on high on the branches, because now that you've been there a couple of times and we're working on your staff there, I shit you not, that branch has grown to be comfortable for you. Not as in your ass got used to it, but as in the branch grew an ergonomically shaped hole and tree for you to chill, meditate, and spend time with the spirits there.
Okay.
So enjoying that blessing, that's when you see Murakan come into the square, and after a few moments, the bird-headed visage of Horus the Ghost appears at ground level with him. And you can be part of this conversation if you so want. You're in the scene.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Murakan, Jinlong is going, "Oh god, this spice is so good." Is there any alcohol?
glad you
Can you
like
get
it.
me alcohol now?
Are you old enough to have alcohol?
What are you, a cop?
Just for that, you own a couple star of beer. Let's go. First,
So-
let's talk with
So that's
our
when
friend.
Horus appears in front of you and goes, "Oh, it hatched. I didn't know it could do that."
Yeah. And
How are you doing?
When that happened?
Making the best.
He doesn't know what happened?
Like
No, he does
was
know. My
there.
apologies.
Yeah.
I was being catty. He was there. You guys were correct. My apologies. He goes, "So, how are you finding him, your guest?"
Incredible funny. I think it's the best, if not the first, I can call my friend. So, well, the second. You were my friend's friend. Don't worry.
Well, I'm happy that we can still call each other friends, and I would like to know what it is about your body, Jin, that bothers me so much. It is like having a piece of food stuck behind a tooth. There is a memory that I can't remember. I only know that forgetting is a mistake.
Yeah,
but I
that's
can't
why
stay
we're
angry
here.
at the little guy. And it is, on your shoulder, literally just enjoying.
And he seems happy about that.
Sorry?
So he seems happy about that. So let's try to
Well-
figure out what the hell is going on with him.
But what I can tell you is one of our enduring artistic symbols recalls the time the Empress and her husband fought a dragon on the place that is now Aztlan, our capital city. I don't know why I'm saying it like this. I was there, but you see that something unlocks in his bird eye. You see his bird eye go big then small, like a camera doing a zoom, and you just know he's just connected two dots. Those memories are missing. So
I
it
think
stands
that's
to
pretty
reason it's
weird
connected.
coming-
Hey, little guy. How do you feel about this? He does prestidigitation to create an image of a globule of water. Jinlong starts to panic straight away. He's afraid of water. Forrest takes the globule off. Huh. Sorry. But you may want to go visit the capital at some point in time. That's what I can do.
Yeah. Okay. So the answer is in the capital. Probably related to that tale about the Empress and her husband fighting the dragon, because that's the memories you lost.
Well, what the story does say is that the eagle god defeated the dragon by drowning it. So, these are the dots that I can connect. I may be missing some data, but it's too much of a coincidence for me to not have that, for it to not mean something.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, because as far as I know, you remember everything you went through.
No, I don't. Unfortunately, not all of my memories are currently accessible to me. Yes, my soul might be up there in that tree along with a number of others, but it's like being in a city and only enough candles to light a portion of it.
Okay, so we have to go to the capital. I get that. I think at some point maybe we'll be going there. I actually have to find the fucking Ashka. So after that, is there anything else we can do to try to scrap some of your memories? Maybe inside that tree, or maybe
Without thinking too hard,
anything.
I'd say you have to feed the tree some blood. If I was you, I would try to get a number of friends who are into it. You might be in the right place in the world for that, he says smugly.
Well, I'm already screwed with my brows. I already screwed with my blood before, so I just make a little cut with my nails and drop some blood in the tree.
Well, you had already
Let's get
mixed
to it.
your blood with it beforehand, so you do not notice a bunch of ghosts appear. You already shared that. But I'm gonna let you know something, which didn't affect you last time, and that's a continuity error. But by mixing your blood with the tree, you have set your spawn point here for the next cycle. This is something that, essentially, if I hadn't flubbed that little piece of lore, you all would know this by now. But by mixing your blood with the tree, if time resets, you will appear in this chamber instead of wherever it is that the mist dropped you before. And I mentioned that because Sully, who has been real quiet, he's definitely been thinking a lot, goes ahead as well and mixes a few drops in there to make sure that... no, I don't think Sully did at all. So just to make sure...
Remember last session when the dragon, the djinn...
It may have
why
been.
wait? We cannot talk to Horus. We cannot see him. Like, go mix your blood with the tree. Drop your blood in the tree.
Oh, fair enough.
Even Sura mixed his blood with the tree.
Just letting you, well, I want to establish this for when we get our friend and colleague back. That would mean that if time rolls back, he would not fall into the waters of the ocean around this bay, so he's less likely to drown horribly.
Oh, that's great. Now we can use it again as a kamikaze dwarf, and we cannot expect any repercussion from her. He says quite great.
Now, gentlemen.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you wish to cover before we move the clock forward to the last dawn?
What is Turtle doing?
Turtle is looking out at the ocean. A little higher than when she usually sits, but she is otherwise quite calm and just eating some grass.
Okay, they need 12 hours. I only need 6. I need half because of my half else.
Okay, so you do have another small block of time that you could use if there's anything you wish to pursue.
No, I'm gonna go to sleep with them now. I'm gonna wake up before them.
Very well. As for the two of you, gentlemen, nothing else?
I don't think I'm going to get any more information about this, so fuck it, let's just go to sleep.
Excellent.
Before that,
So-
I take 3 beers with gin and then go to sleep.
And you notice you cannot get drunk.
I cannot get drunk.
Oh yes, unfortunately, the blessing of acid and poison resistance has made your liver so powerful you cannot get drunk on normal alcohol anymore.
Then I drink a lot because until
I
I
see him-
understand that because the blessing, I'm going to drink everything I found to see if there is anything that I can call real liquor here.
So I
Yeah.
look at him
Yeah.
drinking his ass off, and I say, "Yeah, that's not gonna work."
Okay, before I ask you to make a roll, Amadeus, you were saying? What do you want to add to that?
I was gonna say, you're gonna need some grog for that, brother. Go to sleep.
Well, so Morkan, if you roll me, I'm gonna tell you something. If you're really going desperate, I'm gonna let you roll me a survival check or a luck check. Survival check is less likely to mean you get hurt, but the luck check might get you something very special. For the luck check, you need to roll a 1d20 above a 15.
Okay, I'm going with the luck check then. Can I spend my last lucky point here?
I'll allow it.
Okay. So I will roll this with advantage. It's higher than 15, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, this is an 18 and a 12. Since it's advantage, it's like 18.
Woo! Okay, so what happens next, I don't think anybody on camp expected it, but you drink yourself a number of fermented coconuts that have been put on the beach, just as part of what Otter's been doing ever since he got here, homemaking duties. He's had some coconuts fermenting on the beach to make some very quick rum. The problem is, these coconuts are huge, and the rum that it makes, while rough, is actually very high alcohol. You drink 5 of them and don't feel anything before desperation hits you. And you guys see, as your now supernaturally, good in the darkness Ranger lizard friend begins to scuttle about the camp on 4 legs, looking for anything that's going to change the voltage in his brain. And I'm not going to... Do you give me permission to say you go pretty far?
pretty far in the sense of distance, or pretty
Just-
far in the sense
just
of
trust me.
sense?
In sense.
All right. So
Yeah,
my reaction
both.
is I am seeing him like this, and I just light up a cigarette.
So, Zurok and Amadeus from the center town, what you can see is an enormous shadow lizard moving around the entirety of camp as dusk and night falls, like a tukeke on Perico.
So yeah,
until
I smoke
he
I start a
is-
cigarette and go, this shit I have to see.
And eventually, what happens is Murkan gets cornered in his mad rush by the tribe of Kuimen, and they try to take you down by grappling, and it's a funny little fight because you consider them your little brothers, so you're not hurting them, until by accident you let your tongue out and you lick one of the toads, and immediately all of the alcohol you've drunk hits you all at once. Right, so you're immune to poisons, but maybe not combined poisons. So you are drunk. You take 10 points of damage. Thank God you literally just meant to sleep it off. But I'm just warning you, you guys have a poison and acid immunity that does have its limits.
Yeah. So I start walking to him and say,
You
well,
find him drunk as a skunk.
I go, well, I guess he kind of figured it out. Sorry, guys, I'll be taking him. And I just grab him by a leg and start dragging him back.
Sijin, this is the shit. This is what you're looking for.
Little
I know.
Pedro is left going, oh my God, he licked me all over my leg. I didn't like that.
I'm sorry.
You can go wherever you want if you can drink like this, G.
Huh. Oh, Jin, by the way, is completely unmade. The effects of the alcohol are so potent, he's not able to maintain physical form. So you just look like you're being pixelated in a Japanese porno. Because he's just trying to reform as clouds around you and he can't.
So I'm just, as I'm dragging him, I say, I better let you know, I'm not gonna let you live this one down. I will
Whatever
always
you said,
remind you
Tweety.
of the day you licked a frog on a frenzy.
Let's fucking
You
go. Give me
motherfucker.
more frog. Give me
Listen,
more
my man.
frog.
Well, we've learned a thing or two about each other. And it's been very fun. This is where we put the second and last rest. When we come back, you will have to deal with the Walking Titan. Now, before we go, Amadeus, I just want to know your plans here in terms of using the time you have. Did you intend to try to make the flying disc out of blood? Okay, we'll take that up at the return, because having chosen to do that on the last day, there's going to have to be... You're going to have to struggle a bit more to make it solid enough that it can be used.
But I did tell you that I was gonna get the blood little by little before the day.
Oh, you have been pouring it out over this time? Okay, then we'll have a couple of... We'll still have to make a roll because you have 2 days essentially after having used the time in the pyramid. But it will be lower in difficulty. You won't have to spend as many resources. Therefore, gentlemen, I declare now the final break as we head into the last act of the night. It is 10 minutes, put a timer on, and when we return, we'll see about surviving the onslaught of Blood Jaguar. See you all briefly. Just make sure I do the transition on Streamlabs, and off we go. We will return, fellas. Get yourselves ready after this. Well, if I killed your characters, I'm ever so sorry. It is meant purposefully to be unfair. I love you all. So, see you in 10 minutes. And maybe someday I'll actually get the entire musical and ambient sounds fixed before we start. So, always sorry about that. Go back to you. With the new update, I sure wanna held up. So you're telling me, currently audio, my audio is the only one coming out, but we're talking about the new Helldivers update. You're telling me that there's a fucking stick shift? Why? You don't even have those in America anymore. Oh my god. Oh my god, so I need to jump back into the game, it seems. Holy shit. I need to get to it then. Really? I thought they were gonna be like the Protoss, like a more of a technological type of enemy. Oh man, Zambonis. But they also have Zambonis. Oh dear. I did. Yeah. Okay. That's understandable enough. That's solid enough. Alright, the Master, are you there with us on chat? As usual, Streamlabs doesn't let me know exactly who's there and who isn't. But I would like for everybody that's been here to feel appreciated and love it as we do. So, It shows me some people, but the problem is that Streamlabs does so. It is very untrustworthy. So, for example, it's telling me that I've got 2 viewers, but I've got 4 people in chat. Sometimes it'll tell me it's just rarely exactly in sync. It makes more sense if you got 1,000 people. It doesn't care as much. But sometimes we'll have 8, 10 viewers, and I don't know because what it's telling me is I've got 3 people. So. I'm just going to switch to my long-range microphone as we await our beloved third man Amadeus, because I will be outside as we have conversation. We'll put us back into the role-playing screen that we might all be heard equally. But gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this part so far. I know that it's kind of it's a bit of a slow burn, pun intended, knowing who is on the horizon, but I am happy with the way things have gone, and I think you made good use of your time. I'm also very happy you went back for the pieces of obsidian, which I have been dangling before you for quite a while, and sorry that Otter is not the person to turn those into the weapons you wanted, but I'm just letting you know that that is a piece of pre-made world building that I wanted you guys to get to. I think you'll enjoy it greatly. Oh, my friends. So for those who watch us afterwards, my name is Cronin, Moon, and Raven in this incarnation of myself. I am, of course, the Whiskey Moon that you all know and love, but in my alter ego who comes from this world, I am the sorcerer and wizard known as Cronin, who has been ripped out of his world by the machinations of our dreamers, the players. That is the backstory, of course. With us are Hugo Iwayaba, my longtime friend and political machinator of South America, Zurok, who is Ghostmaker, strongest goth in South America, and our friend Ricardo, who is the raddest Buddhist in South America as well. I know that that's a lot of superlatives, but we are truly fantastic people. At least they are, and this fool here is someone that they have chosen to support. So, I'm very, very happy.
Don't sell yourself short. You gave birth to an entire universe in the span of 2 months just because you found your right medication. So.
Yeah. For those who want to know how to make a D&D setting, there are 2 traditional known ways. The first one is the cow tools world building method, which is make what you want to make and leave enough nonsense that people will fill in the gaps on their own. There is also the what I call the Dostoevskian method, which is to build a tapestry of such depth and complexity that your very characters can see themselves evolve as people throughout the interweaving tale. The last one is what I did, which is spend 20 years in fruitless therapy only to find out that I had to be medicated, only to then produce a torrent of mythopoiesis in the span of 2 months, and about 500,000 words later, I somehow had the basis for a pretty good fantasy setting whose themes I am not ashamed of professionally after 20 years of not writing. With a lot of help and belief from my friends, I have somehow attempted to make it into what you have before you today. I hope you enjoy our stories here. So, I am still with you guys. We are currently in open session, so just chat amongst ourselves as we await our last member. This is also stream time, so just don't say any racial slurs. I'm watching you, and I'm hearing you.
Oh,
so,
man.
Have you guys checked out that new Night Rain from Software?
Nothing.
Dude, it's Dark Souls Fortnite.
So you said.
Well,
What
what else
I've
do you want it to
been-
be?
I mean,
both the games, so I never
Remember
play
the-
as both games.
remember that is your thing, not so much mine.
He says as if it's a dirty, dirty thing.
I didn't say that, you dickhead.
Well, why didn't you? You know I would like it.
Fucking.
My
Anyhow,
brother, I
what up?
love you, but you are the
Everyone
straight
dies.
man to a flaw. It's like I'm not saying that you are funny. I'm saying I have an easy time being your foil comedically.
Yeah, that has been the common denominator. What I've been looking at is the new trailer for The Witcher 4 and how people are just going batshit insane about it.
Oh shit! How
I just
batshit
saw
are we
the
talking
trailer.
here?
I didn't see the community, but
So people are complaining that it's Ciri, that it's going to be the main character, and of course they are
Wait,
saying
what?
she's ugly.
Where is Geraldo?
He retired. Didn't you play Blood and Wine?
No, actually, I missed that.
You should.
I do have it on my library. I should probably finish the game.
It's a very, very good DLC, and it basically ends with Geralt saying, "I'm done."
That's fair. Look, I may not have played
Fair
it
enough.
myself, but it did make waves. Like, I know of it, and that it's one of those gold standard DLCs that every game should hope it gets to have as a closing of the story.
But yeah, so people are complaining about a bunch of things, but the main point that people are complaining about is that Ciri looks ugly, which I don't think she looks ugly. She just looks grittier. She looks seasoned. She looks older. But you know
Yeah.
how people is in the internet.
I don't think she's ugly. I mean,
Listen, I've never seen pores on an anime character, and the Ciri we got in the game was basically an anime character. It couldn't get more.
Take a
Like,
look
how
at
do
the
I put
trailer.
this?
the trailer looks actually good, man.
Take a
I
look
was
at my
excited
trailer.
looking at the
It's the
trailer.
only one I got. Okay.
The other point that people are complaining about is lore-wise, because in this game, she apparently is a full-fledged Witcher, which shouldn't be possible because she's a woman and she's an adult. Like, she apparently went through the trial of the grasses.
Oh god. Did Snoop Dogg
However,
help her?
no, that's something that apparently, from what I've seen in the discussion, something that apparently a lot of people are forgetting. A similar
Snoop Dogg is a Witcher.
process. God, I hope not.
What do you mean? It's a certainty.
No.
What do you mean? Do you think Uncle Snoop couldn't take on a Sturgy? Slander.
It's not that he couldn't. It's that sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, fair enough. You would just smoke it out.
Exactly.
You have a point there, my friend.
So, what I was saying, something that people seem to be forgetting about the discussion on how is Ciri an actual Witcher is Avalach. Avalach, who, if you remember, got turned into a little ugly little man called Uma, had to be reversed to his original form through a very similar process as to becoming a Witcher. The difference is, they did this with the help of Yennefer, who was making sure the bastard didn't die through like hours and hours and hours of sustained magic. So, is it the best explanation? No, but it is justifiable in a way.
I think it's in-universe coherent. And look, Ciri's one of the main characters. You tell me how many times Geralt breaks the whole nobody should survive this law by, main character energy, and tell me it's not fair to give the same to her.
Exactly. So there's a lot of drama going on, and I honestly I'm saying, like, bitch, please stop whining.
It's the internet, brother. There's always going to be whiny people about. At a certain point, it is the cottage industry in and of itself. And one thing that I
Yeah.
haven't wanted to do in terms of making stuff for YouTube, not that I have put much of anything out there, is drama is easy because human beings are criticizable. It's just there's always going to be some way to shame the hero. And but it doesn't lead to anything good. I think in my old age I've come to realize on the internet you're just going to have a certain amount of unagreeable people and you shouldn't even care about it. which is
Yeah,
kind of
but
why reading comments is such a bad idea.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think it's going to be a good game, or at least I'm
puppy.
hoping it will be. But, you know, the fact that people are just bitching incessantly about such a minute thing that if you come to think of it, sure, she may not look as pretty as she did, but we are talking about the Witcher universe. Sometimes,
too.
narratively speaking, it's a good idea to make a character less attractive if you give the right context. Because
Listen,
honestly
I
speaking,
just think that if women came into my Warhammer and started asking that my Space Marines be cuter, there'd be an outrage.
exactly.
So at a certain point, you can't have your cake and eat it. Like, you have to allow characters, if they're going to be realistic, to have even a rough form of beauty.
Exactly.
It's
Because
just, time is time.
if you look at the
Time is
trailer,
beautiful.
you're gonna see that she looks. Because in The Witcher 3, she's like 20, 21. In the trailer, she looks like she's over her 30s, or in very fucked up late 20s. Like if she's been a Witcher for a few, let's say 5-6 years,
don't they age
she's seen
slower? So
some
that's going to be
shit.
some time. Yeah. There's some battle experience there. There's some age on there. There's some taste on that pussy. Sorry, my dog is barking. So come here.
But yeah, I'm trying to stay positive about a very good franchise that has held up over the years.
I lost you there for a moment as I recovered my little war beast. Do we have Fito back with us? Hugo Guayaba-san?
Not yet.
Well, not to be a downer, but given the next section that I have planned is very high intensity, and it seems we're having a bit of a break, a bit of a slow night, we could call it here and take it up next time, which, personally,
I mean, he came
I
back
have
but
a-
left again. I don't know where he's doing.
I have a lot of sound design that I would have liked to do well for this part.
We can give it a couple minutes. Maybe he'll be back right now.
Yes, we can give it a couple of minutes, and in the meantime, let us interview my son. So, what do you think about the late Hugo Chavez Frias? He can burn in hell! I love you, my poop. So good. He's the best. He always has the right answer. You know? It's heartwarming. As for me, I need to buy one of those IKEA rugs to put on my shoulder because I don't like the cut that this cape ended up with. I think it would help me look a little bit more butch and a little bit less like a twinky little gay stuff. I don't know. What do you think, Arrival Master? Hey, so say hi to chat. Hello, chat. Hello. My daddy will kill you with fireballs. No, I won't. It's too small a room. You would get burned, little bastard. Now, gentlemen, I must ask you a question for the ages because I am a wizard. And so I must know. In your opinion, tits or ass? What is sweetest in life? Murakan. Tits or ass? The wizard must know.
But
Stunning declarations. As for the wizard, ass. It was easy. But, you know, I won't go into a discussion of why, because the metaphysics of such a thing might
Oh no,
break reality
it's a
as we
very
know it.
simple. Sure, you can go on tits, but you cannot eat tits. You can't eat ass.
Some would say that size would be a deciding factor in such a scenario. But then again, such people are boors, and I do not tolerate them. Oh, we have Amadeus back with us. Sir, I would like to put something to a vote. The next section, what I have pretty much planned, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I have not done the sound design of it to the level which I want, and it happens to need it in a way that will make it go from a shitty explanation into a cinematic moment. Now, we can go through it mechanically, Or we can pause the game at the end of here today. Or alternatively, you can see about the little blue light that starts to blink next to where you went to sleep. As you know, there was a little project there, something to do with electricity. I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, I've slowed down way more than I thought, and the big set piece that I want to do for you guys is not ready. But there is a blinking blue light.
All right, so it's already the next morning.
It is actually nighttime, so he just walked off screen when he is the person that would have seen this, instead of waiting until the morning.
He heard it there, so give it a moment.
He'll be right back. Yeah, that's just the thing with starting late. It's the wall sometimes hits me earlier than I would like, which is a bit of a shame. So I'll just take control of Amadeus as he wakes everybody up when he sees that the light atop the thing the dwarves have been making starts to blink.
Okay, but I want to share my plan, really, because my real plan was that I was gonna put on the armor and use the flying saucer and leave them two behind and go talk to the big guy. I'm not 100 years old. I'm old enough already. If I'm gonna die, I gotta let the kid have his life. So
You took the choice out of his hands. Oh my.
I did.
Well, that certainly changes things a little bit.
So I'm not there. They can wake up and see that I'm not there, and then we can have the talk with the god later.
Here's the
I'm not
thing,
there.
you didn't get an explanation of how to use the flying saucer. So I'm going to say, you put the armor on, you don't need a stealth check to do that.
Does the armor fit him? Because it was measured for me.
Yeah, but you're big.
Well, it doesn't
big.
fit him very well, to be entirely honest, but it's well enough to be worn. But it is making you, you're not proficient in it, so I suppose it is making you, what's the word here? Disadvantage for certain things.
Yeah.
But you do get on the saucer, so I'm going to describe the thing that has been made here with 2 days essentially to give blood, and without expanding it in the next morning. What you see in front of you is, well, the word flying saucer kind of fits. It is a half disc made out of the green jade stone prepared out of blood that you have been giving to Otter. By the second time you gave it to him, he didn't let you cut your hand and hurt yourself like an idiot. He had prepared for you something called a gentle kiss. It is a bracelet which contains some very common medicinal herbs, and for lack of a better term, you twist it, it opens a vein in your wrist, you close it, and it closes the injury, puts some, numbing paste, and makes it so that you don't get infections. He said, before you stab your hand again, use this. And so you've been feeding this block of stone, and he's been making it into the thing in question. So what you have in front of you is a saucer. It occupies a space which in our grid would be a 2x2. Okay? And when you step on it, all of a sudden, it comes off the ground by about a centimeter. You are very slowly rising because the thing is, it's tuned to you, and it's supposed to carry up to 3 people. Okay, so you could bring your people with you, but hang on, because you do not have the other guys, you are rising somewhat faster. You're rising at about a foot per turn because it's levitating. It's basically buoyant. It was made out of your own blood, and it's not quite divided in the middle in 3 spaces, but you kind of see how the bowl is made. It has some decorations around the sides, but you don't see any methods of propulsion near it. You see, however, a bunch of gold and paste left on one of the tables, because on its own, when you stand on it, this thing just floats. Okay? You need to propel it somehow. So if you have some kind of gust spell or some way to make force against itself, in this case, a mage hand wouldn't help you because normally there's this transference where, because the mage is touching the ground, basically if you try to use a ghost hand while levitating, it's a lot harder because you're not transmitting force down through your feet. So you need either some kind of wind spell or some cantrip that you can use to give yourself impulse. Once you're going, well, there's very little to stop you other than wind resistance.
Okay, hold on.
The other thing that you didn't get to do in the morning would have been painting essentially expendable spells on the hole so that you could use it to go back forth for a time. Basically preloading an amount of movements into it with gold paint.
Okay. So I have a question. Can I use like the let's see.
Don't you have telekinesis or even prestidigitation to be worked?
Sully has a ring of telekinesis, which would then, in conjunction with Mage Hand, allow you to use this quite effectively. Because then that would be a second magical source providing that anchor point to transfer weight to. As a wizard, you would know that. So you want to steal the ring from Sully?
Yes, I do.
You're going to have to make me a sleight of hand check with advantage because not only is the player not here, Sully is generally not too aware. You do it with advantage because he's asleep.
Sleight of hands. That's
Yes.
all right. That's a 16 plus 4. That's 20.
Okay. Now, please also roll me a stealth check. This one is without advantage. You're able to pocket the ring, so you now have that ring of telekinesis on it.
Okay, that's with dexterity, right?
Dexterity.
Okay, that's 15 plus 4. That's 19.
Okay, gentlemen, if that reaches any of your passive perceptions, you are awakened by this, don't let me know. But, you know, we are back with you, Amadeus, trying to get on the disc. So you've never used this thing before. You think you know the fundamentals of how you're going to fuck with 2 magical spells to propel yourself through the air.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I can understand it better?
Arcana check would work. Yes.
Okay, that's a 20, motherfucker.
A 20 on the dice?
Natural 20.
So, essentially, what you figured out is by casting the cantrip Mage Hand, with that roll, I'm not even going to make you have to cast it a few times to get steady on your feet. You just get it. First of all, you realize that the machine, for all that it is just a saucer, is made perfectly because all the weight is on the bottom. So you don't even have to balance yourself. And you can now move. You have a fly speed equal to your movement speed, or the range of your mage hand, but you do you spend both your action and your movement to move the saucer. It is a lot of finicky spell casting, but
okay, if I cast
case scenario.
Asheron along stride on myself before going that down would be my flying speed as well?
No, I'm afraid that what affects it in this case is the range of your mage hand. So what is the maximum range of that? Could be quite high. I think mage hand has something like 45 or 60.
I think it's 60, but let me check that.
But that does mean if you abstract the movement narratively, 30 being your running speed during a battle, that's moving quite fast. Like, that's moving faster than on foot, in the air.
30 feet.
30 feet. So, yeah, you're basically moving as fast as a person does walking through the air. Or running through the air. And it's completely silent. Very good, huh? Now, do you just take off? No preparations, no looking around?
I don't know. I look around, see if there is anything that I need, anything useful. Make a check to see if I'm forgetting anything. I'm old.
Well, you do see that around here there was another bag that, as you just roll it around, is definitely full of leftover dragon brains. stuff's got to be fire protected, right? You've got it with you.
Yeah. Okay.
And only thing you can think of is maybe having water if you're going to be dealing with a lot of heat. Can you create water as a spell, or do you have any way to make that?
Yeah,
You're
I
all
do
set.
have to spell create water.
You're
Yeah.
all set. Okay. Now, Murakan, what was your passive perception?
18.
I'll say, with that 19, you do have the ability. You wake up. With at one point, you do not wake up the moment that he is taking the ring. You wake up when he is starting to take off, as you see him cast his first few tentative mage hands. You realize that Amadeus is leaving camp.
I notice he's leaving.
Yes.
Great. I just start running towards the camp where was the armor in the workshop.
You get there in a second. It's not there. You can actually see that the armor is not there from the moment you step out of the door. So Jin says to you, "Hey, he's leaving.
Rolling.
Are we just gonna let him go?
No.
I can do a thing. Do you have level 2 spell slots?
I do. I take a long rest.
Okay, so trusting your little dragon buddy, you are enwreathed in shadows, and the next thing that you can see is that the world looks very strange, because this is the first time you're seeing anything in 360. You take a look around you, and the first thing that you see is a ceiling of green, and then it clicks. You are currently hiding in the shadow below the plate. You're currently flying with Amadeus. You sense that your shadow form is a bit like a bubble. You can kind of stay there indefinitely if you want, but if you move, you're gonna basically have to pop up on the disc or fall to your death.
Okay. I don't know if that will.
That
be
spent
of
a level
some
2
help.
spell slot, by the way. My apologies.
Let me just check here. I say that when I start looking for the armor, I was rolling all the way where I was running for, trying to wake up someone.
Well, I'll say that for the rest of the people in camp, Surok, you realize what's happening by the time that Amadeus is well away and in the air. You can see him.
What the fuck? I stand up, and I start running out, and I start shouting, "Hey! What the fuck are you going?"
Amadeus, were you going fast?
Yes, actually. Do I see or feel anything about Morkan?
Not at all.
No. I don't know he's there. Okay.
Now,
yes,
I'll
I'm
say
going
you were
fast.
going pretty fast, so unless you look back for some reason, you're a little too far away to hear Zurok down on the ground. But
I'm
I'll
not
say,
looking back.
what you see in the distance, and I wish again that I had done the sound design for this. What you see is a cloud that walks far away from this height where the horizon curves away, the same way that a ship disappears first on the prow and then at the at the pope, when it's going away in the water. There is a cloud of hazy white smoke coming out of the jungle. You know for a fact there wasn't a volcano there. In one of the further treks, your guys may have seen that. And as it walks, there is the sound of a drum reverberating through the air. Soon there is rain around you, water literally condensating out of nowhere as moisture is thrown away from whatever the center of that cloud is. Occasionally sparks of lightning quite literally fly from within and make trees down in the ground burst into flames. You think that Zurok's gonna have to stop at some point because that shit looks like Vietnam. Vietnam is a battle you did in Coniston. It was crazy. There was a bunch of Trans that were trying to kill everybody. But none of that is anything like approaching this fucking thing. The closer you get, the louder that drum beat goes. And the very droplets of water in the air get suspended in time with it. It's like, boom, boom, boom. Like when you play a subwoofer too close to a stream of water. And then the heat starts. Gentlemen, do you want to close here or do you want to continue?
Feel you.
I'm gonna let you know something. Here's the current situation. You have entered the outside of the heat haze projected by the Titan. At this space, you will take an average of, if I have done my numbers correctly, I have it here, not on the battle map or on the DM screen. Where's my DM screen? One moment. Allow me to explain how this man works. You'll be able to see the rules with me because I have fully statted out Blood Jaguar. Gentlemen, now you can see this. People on stream cannot see these stats, but I'm going to let you know you are currently on the outside zone of the Long March, is what this is called. So you're going to be taking, is it 60?
Where is it? Are you sharing
Just a
it
moment.
somewhere?
Where is it?
Should be on the video source that I'm sharing with you guys, which I'm showing you here on my screen. Is
I
it
thought
not
you
currently
were.
showing?
I'm looking at the
Yeah,
battle
they're
map.
not sharing anything in the labs.
Oh, that's weird. Give me just 1 second. There we go. You should be able to see a feed now of my main screen, which will show you.
You ran away and you changed the layout on the screen.
Dang it. Let's see. This scene projector, which I need it here. And then okay. Here, you should be able to see it now. So this is the regional effect caused by Blood Jaguar.
Where?
And
You're not sharing anything.
dear God, it goes away the moment I look away from that screen. What the hell? You should be able to see essentially the stream that is currently being viewed live. But for you, it should be my screen. You should be seeing the regional effects.
No? Nothing.
No, we're
That's
not.
very weird. So when I do,
Is that in the battle map?
no,
No, here on the top of the stream.
When you do that, you're changing the scene in the screen, and what you're sharing is still black.
And then it goes away. I don't know what
Well-
function got mixed up, but
don't worry. I'll find it eventually. We'll get it fixed up. But essentially, man,
Yeah.
you're going to be taking 30 points of fire damage per turn. Now, the sources of fire damage negation you have are cumulative. I'll let you know that it's going to take you about 3 minutes just to make your way through this first zone. It's about, 30 feet per round, right?
Okay.
So if we treat it like combat, a round is 5 seconds. You're able to move. This first zone is 300 feet in diameter because it is up to 1 kilometer away that people get hurt from the damage of this guy. So
Not
that's
bad.
going to mean 10 turns.
Same round. A total of
You know,
50.
I'm assuming 30 feet of movement consistently. And you're taking half fire damage all of that time. Now, if you...
Half
no, in this case, it would be 25%.
with the armor.
With
Okay.
the armor, you're taking half. I'm going to assume that you put water on yourself as well. What's your method for putting water on yourself? Is it a spell or is it a something you're carrying?
No, I mean, once it's moving, the only thing that stops it from moving is the roce, no, with the air, but it keeps
Inertia. Inertia,
Okay.
yeah, but also
Okay.
it's kind of a heavy disc, so you can do a lot of that movement. I'll say you can skip a turn here or there. But what I'm asking is, how are you going to ameliorate the fire damage? Because this first
that's where
band,
I'm gonna cast Create Water, okay, and I'm gonna shape water around me, like around my body, so the heat doesn't heat me.
okay. Now I'm gonna let you know this. Heat water is spell elemental enough that you're able to hold it through during this first band, whereas you would be taking a bunch of fire damage. You can create enough water in a block that it doesn't boil off right away, but then you get closer. You get into the second band of damage. Here, it would be an average of 60 fire damage per minute. And at this point, having the water on, you can cast the spell again, but all it's going to do is make you wet because the heat is overwhelming.
It's 10 gallons of water per cast.
I said what I said, my man. So the water at this closeness boils away. There is a combination effect of both the physical heat being given off, the wind which is battering it, and just the fact that hot water is less magically stable. It's harder to hold, for lack of a better term. So from here on, counting the things you have on, if you have the wet effect and you have the armor on, you're only going to take 25% damage. If you decide to spend your dragon grease now, brains, you can logarithmically cut that another 25%, which would even out to only taking about 7% damage.
Okay.
Or you might want to save that resource until you get close enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you save the resource, you're cutting down 75% of the damage.
I'll be
The
right back.
distance here is 400 feet. If you're moving, I'll say 30. That is 13. If we're cutting down 60 to its 25th percent, that is 15 x 30. X 13. 15 by 13 is a little over 100 points of damage. How much HP do you have?
54.
Now that's kind of wild. If you were to spend the next resource, you can cut this down even further. I'll say you're not taking all that damage right away, but if you spend the dragon
I don't
grease,
get it. The armor wasn't to negate the fire damage we were gonna get to the guy?
it doesn't negate it. It just gives you resistance. And as it turns out,
Okay.
maybe it wasn't enough.
Okay, what's happening to Moroccan, by the way?
That's what I
Oh.
want to ask.
That's a good question. Morgan, you're taking no damage at all. But I'll say this, Jin is panicking in your ear because he's saying, just breathe, just stay quiet, just stay swimming, just stay
calm.
swimming. Listen, you should have told me that we were going to go and become food for something. Listen, if you don't
I didn't know
move,
what
we're just a shadow. If we're just a shadow, we can't get burnt, okay? Don't fucking move!
Okay, I will spend all my resource, my mental resource, to concentrate enough to stay
I'll let you skip having to do some kind of willpower check, just because if that's going to be your entire focus. But it is, as I said before, being a shadow doesn't feel bad, but it feels... It's not fragile, it's easily disturbable, like a pond.
So
it does
here's
take
the
all your
thing.
concentration.
When I see that getting so close is starting to burn like hell, and I'm not even close to the guy. I'm not even remotely close, right?
Not even. I'll say this. The beating of the heart is very, very close right now. And yet, for all the wind around you, there is a supernatural quiet. Kind of weird. You are aware that you are this close to dying. Feels quite
I
calm.
turn back.
You turn back. Okay. I'll say you're still going to end up taking some singeing damage from all of this, but it's going to be quite minor. Roll me a Constitution check, and we'll turn that 40 into a 20.
Okay, that's a 15 plus 4. That's 19.
That hits. So, by casting a bit more water, you are able to avoid the worst of the heat, and you don't die horribly. You are out of its range now. It is continuing to walk, and then it stops. You see a red light turn on in the thunderstorm.
Okay.
It dissipates. You can still hear the heart, but it is no longer rumbling. Sorok, on the ground, what you see is Amadeus becomes a ball of water, then that ball of water boils away. At that point, you kind of lose sight of him, but you start to smell burnt wood on the wind, and then you can hear the heart as well. You kind of don't notice because it mixes with your own, running, but you two are aware by now, especially when Amadeus starts to fly back, that the Titan is nearby.
Okay, so as I notice that, I start running around, waking up as many people as I can to get them to run to the beach.
The general alarm is sounded. So
I fly down to Zurak, and I scream, "Where the fuck is Murakan?" And I extend my hand to try to grab him to jump into the thing.
So, Murakan, no roll is required. As the shadow at the bottom of the flying saucer touches the ground, you suddenly feel as if you are a swimming animal in pure, clean water. And then you are rushed, and you pop out of a shadow right next to Amadeus.
You okay?
I cast Fireball immediately.
I don't
just
care.
said Fireball.
I don't care anything else.
What
I
the
just
fuck?
asking. Okay, shit.
So there's do you actually cast it, or are there just some magical sparks? Just
Just some magical spark. Like
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Until you roll dice, it's not fine. That's what I'm going to say about that.
Alright, so I start running towards him. What the fuck were you doing?
Jump in. We'll talk later.
What? Are you insane?
I just jump, grab him, and put him in the saucer.
Go
flying.
on. How are you? You feeling good? You're better now?
And start flying.
Where
Away from
were
the
you?
saucer thing.
As you keep going up into the air, the night is fairly cool, and you guys eventually are able to see it as well. The cloud, the Titan.
What the fuck?
The fuck you did now, old man?
Exactly.
Well,
So just so you guys know, this armor doesn't work. And I show them my tan.
I mean,
Although
the
this
armor
doesn't work,
is
you are with
deeply
your
burned,
belly
but
on the
still
air.
whole.
What?
The armor is deeply burned, but still functional. The thing is, Jin looks at you and goes, or maybe you just couldn't handle the heat. Yeah, okay, I'll shut up. It wasn't the moment. I'm sorry.
I just
You
let
said
out
that-
I take up the damn thing and give it to Sorag. And here's your thing. I'll mend it in a minute. Just let's get the fuck out of here before we get burned.
Truth is, even though you hand it off to him, you do know, even if it's made for him, I'm not going to protect him enough. You guys
Well,
are
we
all
can get
being
it fixed.
buffeted by the wind, which is now warm.
He is coming now. We have to do something. Otherwise, we're just gonna get burned anyways.
We're not gonna be able to do anything. We're not gonna be able to get to the thing. I was wearing the fucking armor, and I wasn't even close to look at him, and I was.
Yeah, you
almost dead.
look the part. But listen,
Alright.
you are big on lights. Can you set off something and write a message on the wind? We need to talk to you. Shut your fire off, please.
I think on. Okay. What's Let me see. What language could I use? So I speak several. Abyssal, Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, or Elvish.
Help me, please, Jin. Don't help me for this, but if there is any chance that we can get a little bit closer as we did before, if it's only you and me.
Who? You and me? Who?
Him and
Jin.
the
I'm
ghost.
talking to Jin. Me and Jin.
Oh,
If you can throw that shit high enough and fast enough that we can get closer, I
Oh.
could try to say something to the fucking giant.
wait,
But
I
I
think I
don't
understand
think-
what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying. You put the armor on, you hide in a shadow under the flying saucer, and Amadeus, you fly it, and once you have enough impulse, you jump off and let the fireproof stone do most of the way. I mean, Morgan, you're still
You guys-
flying into the fire, but it does
Wait
get
a
you
minute.
closer.
Wait a minute.
Okay,
You
hold on.
travel in the shadows like John.
Yeah, and I don't have enough time to explain that to you.
No, but
that's
I have
not only me.
I don't
I
know.
have
The
a-
motherfucker.
Just thanks
for
to
some
you.
reason,
I have an
you know-
idea. I have an idea. We need to find Nasser and find one of his underwater passages. If you can travel
is an option.
underground and get to him, we may just solve this whole thing.
Well, that may be an option. It does
And
leave
you'll talk
actually
to
talking to the
him.
motherfucker.
In his toe, we're going to talk to his feet. You're talking about
You just
underground
need to
passage.
get to him and get his attention.
You're going to need to give me a lot of fucking gold for this. What do you say, Paul?
This is not about gold. This is about whether or not we die.
If we die, we came back. I don't fucking care.
Are you so
Well-
sure?
Have it your
They
way.
do say there's a pretty girl, says Jin.
Pretty girl. What do you mean?
The fuck are you
know.
talking about?
You know, the girl who owns the town is supposed to marry, people. I
Why
thought you
aren't you?
guys... Yeah.
That's why I fucking love you, mate. You're incredible, a genius.
And
you
you're
were
the,
born
big,
a
you're the
natural
best
genius.
big brother. You're fucking awesome. You're like a big old, slicey, dicey dragon.
All right,
man.
enough
You're
sucking
awesome.
dicks.
I-
We need to
I-
solve
I-
this.
We
I
are
look at
going
Sorg
to
and I
talk
say-
with the motherfuckers, and I'm going to get the bitch that owns the town. Okay?
So, that's the plan that you guys
I
are
look
going
at-
to do?
While they are sucking each other's dick, I look at Sorg and I say, "Have you ever seen a two-floor iguana?"
What? What the fuck?
I mean, technically, that's what you guys did when you killed the big dragon, but you fucking... God laughs. Take a point of inspiration. Bitch. All right. So, is the plan Dangerous Discus going to be it? Or are you
Here's
going to
the
try
thing.
to talk
How
to
much
the
gold-
water spirit?
How much gold do you guys have?
I
I
have
only
two.
have around 200 gold. I already gave you all the gold I had before.
Zurak?
I have a necklace with for 2,000.
That works. Okay. Because here's what I'm gonna do. I can do what you guys told me with the pushing I mean, I could fly it long enough until I can take the heat and it has enough speed. But how's he gonna come back? So I could prepare maybe 2 catapult spells so he can catapult himself back, and leave it ready just for him to like push a button with gold.
The distance is
sure
is
that-
not going to be enough with a catapult spell. Problem is, if you are not touching the base of this thing, it is actually super fucking heavy. It is a big old piece of heavy stone marble. So
So how the fuck
Yeah.
how the fuck are they gonna fly there if they can't?
well, the idea
Whoa.
was that you would
Whoa.
fly on high, get impulse, and then launch yourself off.
I have an idea. Murakan, you're not gonna like it.
I
Okay.
fucking hate you all, man.
Okay, so here's the thing. What if I cast?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but because Murakan's passive perception is above 17, you see the same baleful light in the shadow. It's just a detail. You see a light turn on in the cloud far away.
He is here. Speak faster or throw me to the motherfucker.
Okay, so
I don't think we have time enough to find the tunnels that the
It closes again. You're not in a hurry, you think. Sorry, I just didn't want to interrupt Amadeus. I just said, you notice a light turn on and go off.
I go to the light. I said, hold on.
Well, it is, I'm
Yeah.
saying, in the cloud, where the Titan is, you notice
Oh.
the same thing that happened before, which is that a light turned on and then turned off. That high on the cloud, by the way.
And he probably is washing. So
Okay, how far are we from that big wooden stump?
Go out. I'd say not too far. I'd say as the crow flies, but as your saucer flies, about 400 meters. It's not even that far away. Like the first routes to get to the very top of the stump, you'd have to go half a kilometer. Sorry, about a kilometer. Not as far
Alright.
as getting to the Titan. You can get there.
Okay,
in a
let's
couple
go
of
to.
minutes.
Okay, let's go to the wooden stump. I'll explain there.
Okay, well, you might be doing this just to please me.
Do you guys need anything before to deal with the big old giant Titan thing?
the armor,
Okay,
the
let's go.
Prayers.
water.
Okay.
Well. Let's see
So-
if this will capture my battle map. Because you guys do get your asses over to there. All right, the other one was closed. Here's the battle map.
So the
Gentlemen,
first thing
just before you do that, there's just something that I have prepared here. Just want to make sure that that's visible on stream as well. Move it a little bit more to the left. Like, fuck! At this point, my pills have run out, so I abdicate the duty of being good at this shit. Okay. So yeah, I had prepared this map for you guys, because as you get there,
Go to the
the light turns on
Zoom
again.
link.
Okay.
Sorry?
Telling the guys that to go to the Zoom.
Yeah, I'm right there.
All right.
So, you have copies of your tokens elsewhere on this screen if you want to grab one and place it anywhere around here. I'll say, you can have your flying disc with you, Amadeus, if you so want. I have to make you a token for it, but it is a insistent item. It is the kind of thing that if you don't store it, like, it stays somewhere. It's not going to follow you on its own. But you do have it if you want to use your fly speed when you're here. So, gentlemen, you make it to the top of the giant stump, and I have to say it's definitely a lot easier to fly than it is to trek your way up. From your vantage point, you see a lot of movement as animals flee throughout the jungle.
Okay.
Alright.
All right. So here's the thing. Do you see that big red light that shows off and up and on?
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that's him.
Me too.
Yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do a lot of noise, and I'm gonna ride in the sky so that fucker sees what I'm gonna ride, and pray to your gods that he sees and turns off his fire. Either way, I'll see you guys later in the beach or wherever the fuck we're gonna pop up. But this is like the last resource, guys. So it was nice fighting with you guys along.
Oh dear.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait for the light to turn on. I'm gonna start casting Meteor Swarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a secret that your dear wizard may have been keeping from you and from many others, which is that he was actually once an entire fucking archmage, which may not mean much for you, but without any complicated magical explanations becomes quite apparent when the spell that Amadeus begins to cast projects a transmutation circle so wide and so intense in the ground around you that it takes up the entirety of the stump around you. The sky darkens. Mate,
What are
the
you doing?
magic that is currently coursing through you is electric. You haven't done this since you were a young man. Now that you're reborn, you think your body can handle it, but oh my fucking god. It is an entirely new experience.
While you're listening to this and the noise, I look at Surog and I say, I'm saying hi to the Titan. And I keep casting.
The
So,
light
the
turns
big guy
on.
killed us, or the old man killed us? Oh, fuck.
The skies darken. Can you please just read to me the description of Meteor? And I would like to say something for the people at home. I am the kind of GM that loves giving people sweet tricks. Using this particular one is not an everyday thing and will not be available perhaps for a long time, as the Archwizard of Coniston uses the entirety of his knowledge.
Okay, so blazing orbs of fire plummet to the ground at 4 different points you can see within range. Each creature in a 40-foot radius sphere centered on each point you choose must make a dexterity saving throw. The spears spread around corners. A creature takes 20d6 fire damage and 20d6 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. A creature in the area or more than one fire burst is affected only one. The spell damage objects in the area and ignites flammable objects that aren't being worn or carried.
This told me you at least you know how to do mathematics and you don't throw in that shit over it or
No, Jaguar, no friendly fire, no friendly fire.
What is the dexterity saving throw?
probably your spell casting.
Yeah, my spell casting ability, which is if I'm not mistaken, it's like 14 or 15 something.
I'm going to tell
Because
you
it
the
is,
following.
it is 8 plus my proficiency bonus plus my intelligence. So that's 8 plus 3. It's 16.
I'm going to tell you the following. You're not really necessarily aiming because motherfucker big, right? So I'm just going to assume all 4 of the major fireballs hit. And I'm going to go ahead and do some abstractions here. Because what you may not know about Blood Jaguar is that deep down, what he is mechanically is a monk. Before he can do some funky things with projectiles.
But wait, you're firing the fucking meteors at the Blood Jaguar?
No, and the stump.
On the stump, on
We are
yourselves.
on the stump.
What do you want me to fire? Oh yeah, it should be to Blood Jaguar so we can get his attention, right?
I mean, it's pretty far away.
Okay,
of course,
so here's the
lighting the
thing.
fireballs on yourself might be a thing. Like, that could work.
On the stump.
Yes.
Around the stump, not on it.
Yes,
We are
not
on it.
us. Not on us, but around us. On the stump.
I'm not gonna
Why
make you
not
roll
in
an
the
intelligence
distance
check.
between
I'll have you
me-
know this.
Oh,
Not hitting him is very inefficient. It will actually change things to a perception roll. Because motherfucker's traveling inside of a cloud. He's not going to see the meteors fall from the sky. He's either going to feel them hit something or make something explode. So if you hit the top of the tree where you are, that's going to be a big kaboom. That could be something. But you are there. And unfortunately, you are not immune to meteor fucking damage yet.
But that's why I'm
like the jet.
it says
Now,
that I
hitting
shoot
him
for
might be a
area.
bit of an offense, but that would certainly call his attention. So,
Try to
tell
get
me.
close to him.
you know what? You can defeat him if you use your little finger in their feet. If you hit with the meteors in the little
Wanna-
finger in his,
I
you
look
die.
at Zurok and I say, Iguanas are good for fighting, but not very smart, right?
By the way, during this conversation, level 9 magic is currently affecting reality around you guys.
Okay, so, going back. So, do you want to call his attention with making it low here and then write something, or do you want me to hit the guy and risk making
Hit him. If he cannot see us through the cloud, there's no point.
All right then. Oh shit. Okay, here it goes. Then let's try to
So
hit the thing.
roll me the damage for one of those fireballs. We'll average it out for all of them, unless you want to roll a whole bunch of fucking dice right now.
It's 20d6 fire plus 20d6 bludgeoning. That would be 20d6 damage. This shit. Like, the average would be 60.
Let's say that. 60 points
60
of damage.
fire, 60 points of bludgeoning, and 60 points of fire. That would be the average.
Whoa. That's pretty close. Thank God, out of the 4 hits, I was able to stop 1. Here is what happens, gentlemen. The sky opens, and something that doesn't exist naturally in ORO, for there are no other things in the sky but of this earth. 4 meteors the size of houses fall out of the sky with a noise like supersonic booms. The very movement of them shakes the air around you guys. The magic of it, Amadeus. You are in. I'll get into what's happening to your mind later, but the first one hits, and it parts the cloud being given off by Blood Jaguar, and for a split second you see him, a man hundreds of feet tall with his skin red as lava itself, tusks, one baleful eye closed, and one with an even sharper shade of red looking at you with all of the hate in the universe, as 2 more of those giant boulders from the sky hit him, and you see his leg break. But the last meteor, he turns to look, and with a movement that a thing of that size should not be able to make, he hits with the palm of his hand, and the thing is now redirected towards you. Monks can catch projectiles, my friends. Please, roll dexterity. And attempt... I mean, all 3 of you. It's going to hit the stump in the front, but I promise you, you have caught the Titan's attention.
Jane, let's go inside something.
Oh, first survive. Okay?
Okay, that's 13 plus 4.
That passes. You take half damage on both sources. So half the fire damage, half the impact damage.
7 plus 2.
Hold on. Well, don't I have the armor on?
You can have the fire damage there from resistance again. it would apply.
Then I get no
Zork?
damage. I'm fire.
9.
No, that is old rules, unfortunately. A damage source can never be reduced beyond... Technically should never be reduced beyond 25%. I'm allowing you to do it logarithmically, so essentially you have first a 25% reduction from... first a 50% reduction from the dexterity, then the 25% reduction on the fire damage from the armor's resistance. So you're taking half damage total, and then the fire portion of that cut it again because of the armor's resistance. Then, Surok.
I got a 9.
Full damage. Morgan?
I want to spend a lucky point to be for this.
Roll it. So we'd said 60 bludgeoning, 100 something, plus another 60 something fire.
I am dead by that number, right?
So,
Morgan?
well, that is the stress check, right?
Yes.
I'm so fucking glad that I spent the point. That's a 16.
That takes the damage down to half, but we're still talking over 80 points of damage put that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. What if I can I cast a spell?
Wait.
I'll say you can choose to take full damage if you want to cast a spell instead of trying to dive for cover. But as you may have realized, even if you dove for cover, this is death. So I'll give you one last action if you want to take it.
I wanna check something. I have the what was the rack of blur that give me some reduction,
I'm afraid
right?
this is an area attack, so unfortunately it doesn't work that way.
Okay, then I just
Not to mention the thing burns up.
okay. He's not so sorry. So I will fly.
Does your fly speed exceed 40?
No.
You are caught in the fireball. Amadeus, you have any last options to play?
Misty step as well.
Your Misty Step unfortunately takes you nowhere far enough. Now, I'll say this, gentlemen. This doesn't mean instant death. So you may begin doing death saving throws. And if you have, Zork, you have an ability that lets you be at 1 point of HP, right?
Yeah, the relentless endurance.
That applies.
So I
Amadeus,
cast
with
that
your-
in Scream. Walk!
Amadeus, with your last action, is there anything that you want to do to minimize the damage coming for you? I'll allow you to creatively use a spell if you have it by using Arcana.
I can use a spell.
If you can come up with something creative, but of course, what's coming after you, it's a goddamn meteor, brother. Anything other than getting out of the way is probably not going to be terribly effective.
Resilient sphere.
Resilient sphere. Oh my. Read me that one, please.
A sphere of shimmering force encloses a creature or object of large size or smaller within range. So this is if it's unwitting. Nothing. Non-physical objects, energy, or other spell effect can pass through the barrier in or out through a creature in the sphere. Though a creature in the sphere can breathe air. The sphere is immune to all damage, and a creature or object inside can be damaged by attacks or effects originating from outside, nor can the creature inside the sphere damage anything outside.
I'll say you can cast this on yourself or on one of your companions, but in this split-second decision of literally the fireball coming for you, no jumping to hug them and make yourselves all small. It's either you or one of them.
Okay, so Zorok, you're gonna survive, right?
Somehow, yes.
Okay, Murakami?
Wait.
Oh, can't
so
you
anything-
wanna make you like shadowy?
Apparently not right now.
In other
Remember that that's
circumstances,
not-
yes, but there is a literal giant source of light streaking towards you. The shadows are moving too fast to be swimmable.
Okay, well then I cast it on me. Because
Well, let
it's
me-
either, we're gonna die anyways. If I get it or if he gets it, we're both gonna die.
Let me
So,
just check something, okay, please. If I use Misty Step, I can get 30 feet away from my position instantly, and
yes.
then fly. Or
How can you
I
fly?
can cast it again. I can fly because I am a Dragon Ball.
Oh, you have that skill now. You're able to manifest wings. This is
Yeah.
usually a Dragonborn thing, but I'll say you do it with Jin.
Okay. So I
I'll
can.
I'll say the
the
following.
last level 2 spell slot to use Misty Step to try to get a little bit farther, even if it's that only 10 or 5
If you
feet
spend
away.
all of those resources, and considering the dexterity check you made, I'll say that you can avoid the force damage portion of this entirely. You will not be killed instantly by over damage, but you're still going to be brought to 0, I think, by heat damage, though not dead, and you can roll saving throws, which is much better.
I'm dying, of course it is.
So, gentlemen, if we are committed then to this method of survival, a lot of things, even if they are but one, happen very quickly, and in such short succession, not even my rhetorical trick is enough to do it justice. Your power of destruction, Amadeus, is turned upon you, and it is bittersweet to find that something in your head burns away as you cast this magic, and to still have it be made against you. There's a lot of sound and a lot of fury and a lot of shaking in a very short time. Murakan, you make use of so many new powers and new ways that you kind of think you maybe fart, but you don't care. Anything to get you up, above. You avoid the worst of the exploding rocks that fall down underneath you. You see the rock hit the rim of the trunk. You see superheated water become gas. You see splinters go everywhere. You see Zorok screaming. You see Amadeus inside of a pearlescent bubble of energy. Amadeus, you actually don't see shit. You have. I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I need you to roll me a quite easy DC 15 Constitution check to avoid being deafened, because while you don't take any damage, there is so much sound and fury around you that in the small confines of the energy sphere, it does become a force. Murakan, you avoid the kaboom, and then there's no air to breathe. You're falling through the air, and perhaps mercifully, you pass out before you hit the ground.
Can I
So,
say something?
as I am screaming, I am, Zurek in this moment is like certain he's going to die, but he's like he said it before, his refusal to die. He's remembering everything that happened in prison, but he's mostly remembering Gaskell. Because that scream and that level of fury and stubbornness he got from Gaskell.
There is something in your will to live that is irreverent and damn near supernatural, and here it once again gets you through the impossible. Amadeus, sorry, what was the result of your roll?
That's 13 plus 4.
You're not stunned or deafened. You turn off your sphere of power when it becomes clear once again. The amount of shit that was bouncing off of it was like trying to look into a reflection that's been shattered. Now, once it's clear and you see that things stop moving, you look around and, small fucking miracle, all three of you are alive. Now,
Am I still in the same
Murakan?
place, or did I get tossed?
Oh no, you are in the same place. Just funnily, the way that the wood exploded, you were sliced to ribbons, and maybe that's what protected the wood behind you. So there is this like Hiroshima stain of rocks and shrapnel explosion with an open space in the shape of Zora. Murakami, roll me. I need you to roll me a death saving throw. It's a 1d20. You want to roll above a 10.
Yeah, I just want to say, Will, we're when
You're unconscious, brother.
where we went living. When I see this, all the destruction, I will be, and we are being tossed away. Maybe I don't think I will get in the same place. I just ask Jim to hide, to go back and hide himself. If I had the chance.
You can't even talk to him. He's so blown away by the sound, the fury, and the explosion that there is no smoke or shadow for him to form from.
That was
like
what
he's not
Murakami
there.
was thinking about. Well, we're fading away. It's a D20, right?
Yes, sir.
And I guess there's no lucky point this time. That's a 6.
That's one death save down.
Yep, sorry.
That's all right. Such is the power of South America sometimes. So, fellas, the wood is burning around you, and without needing a roll, I can tell you that the Titan is gone. You look in his direction, and the cloud is clearing away. There's nobody there.
What
But the
fuck?
drum beat sound, you can still hear that. The heart hasn't gone anywhere.
Can I calculate how much distance is between us and it?
No way in fucking hell. I don't want to be mean here, but after that explosion, you're lucky I'm not making you roll for your hearing as well.
All right. So I just fucking fall on my knees and say, well, he did it. I think.
That went well.
Fuck you.
And as you chuckle, does any of you have a passive perception above 18 that isn't Murakami?
No, I got 12.
I'm so sorry, this doesn't even really take a roll. And
How do you calculate the passive perception?
It's in your sheet. Top.
Oh no,
Top right.
15. Sorry.
the move coup de grace automatically inflicts 2 death saving throw losses when applied to a player character. As a foot comes down over Murakami's limp body and breaks his spine too fast for pain to even register. For however brutal the movement is, it does carry a certain mercy in and of itself.
Wait,
For
Murakami
in front of
died?
you there is a man. There is now a man standing on top of the body of Murakami. He is naked as the day he was born, but that doesn't seem to matter because the heat coming off of his body just condenses water in a cloud around him. He is bald. He looks... It's a very strange mix of a youthful face with the crags and breaks of experience and war. He has small tusks protruding from his lower lip. And oh, there is a wicked scar going across the top of his head, causing one eye to be forever shut. As he turns to look at you and says, "That went well, indeed. I believe you called me."
So,
That is the end of the session. Straight the fuck up. That was not the worst way that could go.
No, I mean, I was completely convinced we were just gonna fucking die and reset.
Oh. Oh, just, I mean, if you want to, here's the thing. There are a couple of lore drops if you want to have them. But I'm just letting you know what happens next session is you die because he kills you. Like I'm not trying to be a mean DM. You absolutely nailed it. I'm just too tired to do his dialogue justice, which is why I'm stopping it now. But there is a reason the first thing he did entering on screen was kill a player character with a mechanic. I am telling you, the gloves are off. Like, this guy understands the action economy, and so do a number of other enemies from here on. That includes fucking doing 2 death saving throws in a move, because it's tactically advantageous. So, it's I'm just letting you know. But you did manage to get the War God's attention. As for you, Amadeus, you've burned that level 9 spell. It only resets not on long rests, but upon death. Just letting you know. Wink, wink. So, I hope you are ready to have a brief conversation with your death at the start of next session. And with that, I believe I will be closing today's game. I'm just going to shut off the stream because, ladies and gentlemen, I am exhausted. Just gonna shut it off here. For anybody who watches us afterwards, I've got the freshest balls in all of D&D nerdom.